will try and join me in a bit. She's stuck at an NDTV conclave in New Delhi. But first, let's take you to the breaking news that's coming in this hour. And it's Rajana trouble for the Congress. K.N. Rajana, Karnataka's Minister for Cooperatives, or Cooperation as they call it, had to resign after a controversial comment on the vote chori controversy. In fact, he went and asked the Congress should be ashamed that the vote chori happened in the Mahadevpura constituency in a state which was ruled by the Congress. And for that comment, he was asked to resign. And now he's back meeting the Chief Minister because he's reportedly unhappy because the diktat for his resignation came straight from the top of the Congress party. K.C. Venugopal, we believe, had spoken to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah asking for Rajana's resignation, and the instructions for his resignation came straight from the top of the Congress party. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, remember, an assembly session is underway. It began only today. Could have possibly waited till the end of the session, but took the decision to ask K.N. Rajana to resign. Rajana is apparently meeting the Chief Minister. Rajana is an MLA from the Madhugiri constituency in the Tumkur district parliamentary constituency of the state. Not an extraordinarily influential leader in many ways, but an important moment as far as the Congress. It is embarrassing, to say the least, for the Congress, given the entire national focus on this controversy. Deepak Bopanna, what's Rajana telling you? What are people in the Chief Minister's office telling you? Obviously, there can be no look back because the diktat for his resignation has come straight from the top.
What a dramatic turn of events, and it's never a dull day as far as Karnataka politics is concerned, and today is a clear example of that. K.N. Rajana caught completely unaware. We've been told that, messages have been going very loud and clear to the High Command that this is a man who's a motor mouth. From making comments about a leadership change, from making statements that the KPCC president should, to then pointing fingers at Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala himself that he's meeting government officials and that's not protocol. To even saying that there's going to be a massive political revolution in September, but the final nail in the coffin was his statement challenging the entire campaign of the Congress party of Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself, where he goes on to question, why the Congress couldn't really find the discrepancies in the electoral roll because a draft copy is made available. This somewhere didn't go down too well. A clear instruction was given from the Congress High Command to Mr. Siddaramaiah that he has to go from the cabinet. A loud and clear message has to be sent out. I am told from my sources that Mr. Siddaramaiah was not very happy, especially considering the fact that today is the day one of the Karnataka Assembly session, which will go on for 2 weeks. This will give so much ammunition to the BJP to attack the Congress party, and that's exactly what has started happening. They are saying that this is a Dalit leader who's been ousted, insulted, and more importantly, he's been insulted and ousted for speaking the truth, and there's no democracy in the Congress party. He now, along with his loyalists, is out there trying to once again meet the Chief Minister, but at this point in time, it's made very clear that there is no coming back for Mr. Rajana.
Obviously, there is no coming back. And remember, Rajana is not the first time that he's shooting off his mouth. He's the same man who said September revolution for the Congress, basically pushing the guns. And this one, in the middle of the national focus on the vote chori allegations and the party's offensive against the BJP, deeply embarrassing for a minister in its own cabinet turning around and saying, what were the Congress doing? Technically, that's what he's asking, because he says that the Mahadevpura vote theft allegations or the voter malpractice in the Mahadevpura constituency happened in a state where the Congress was firmly in power. Obviously, this will be a huge political embarrassment for the Congress here in Karnataka, as Deepak is pointing out. Vasudha Venugopal also joins us live. All the political action playing out there in Delhi. Deepak, very, very briefly, any scope at all for any kind of pacifying of Rajana? Any other positions that could be given to him?
Well, at present, no, because the message has come in from the High Command. When I say High Command, it has come directly from Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself, is what I'm learning. That he was unhappy because this is a vote chori campaign that was initiated by him. And when you have a minister in a Congress government speak against a massive campaign of Rahul Gandhi, of the Congress party at the national level, it's not something that goes down too well. And like you have said that this is a person who is known for making controversial statements in the past, which has brought a lot of embarrassment to the party. So this time there is no going back really. And what could even become more trouble, or what could be more trouble for Rajana, is the fact that if he now rebels against this decision of the government, he could even be removed from the primary membership of the Congress party, is what I'm learning. That would, of course, really stall his entire political career itself.
Thanks very much. We will keep focus on Rajana, but remember, there's a much larger national focus. Vasudha, you also join us there from the location of that NDTV summit. All the focus on the parliament and the MPs who quoted arrest from the opposition today, protesting against this same vote chori controversy. Joining us right now is the DMKs parliamentary party chief, Kanimozhi Karunanidhi. Ma'am, thanks very much for joining us. What will pacify the opposition? What are you exactly pushing for? Is it a complete reversal of the SIR process in Bihar? Is it a discussion in parliament? Or would you believe that the opposition now needs to take a tempered stand on this issue?
See, it is just not one problem issue we are talking about. We've been asking the government to have a discussion and debate about SIR in Parliament, which they've been refusing. And Parliament has not been able to function because of that. Time and again, the opposition has been demanding for a debate, which they haven't given into at all till today. And moreover, certain bills which we've been requesting the government to send it to select committee has been passed today in the din. So this is what the parliamentary democracy, the state of the parliamentary democracy today in the country is. And definitely there are a lot of questions about SIR. And recently when the LOP had a press conference, he's clearly explained about what is happening across the country, how the BJP is winning elections. So actually, it's questioning the entire election process of this country. So you don't have a debate, you're not prepared to have a debate in Parliament, and the opposition MPs wanted to go and meet the Election Commission today. We were not allowed to meet the Election Commission, and we were stopped and detained in a police station. So the opposition has no right, according to the union government, to express its views, to have a healthy debate about SIR, about the election process. Because what is the point of a government if we do not believe that the people actually elected it? There are doubts about if the people really elected this government.
Right. Kanima,
Vasudha also joins us now.
I understand your point with regard to this demand. I understand your point with regard to asking for a discussion on SIR in the parliament, which is completely justified. But with regard to the accusations of massive vote theft that Rahul Gandhi, the LOP, is talking about, the system often has discrepancies, irregularities. Would you say that the irregularities that Rahul Gandhi has are so huge in scale that there is possibility of collusion between party and ECI?
If if the LOP is not right, then I think it is the duty of the Election Commission to come and explain it. When the opposition parties are asking for data, digital data, why is the Election Commission giving them paper data, which is actually making it impossible to find out what is happening? And there are people from the media who've gone to certain houses which the LOP has mentioned, where there's just one family with 2-3 people. And the voters list has 80 people registered in that house. It's just not one incident. There are so many. And people have been so I think the duty of the Election Commission to come out and explain. Today they could have met us. They could have explained.
You're making a fair point there, but I want to bring context to a state like Tamil Nadu. This has become a Congress versus BJP battle largely and focused around Bihar. In a state like Tamil Nadu, which has had enormous amount of political mobilization at the grassroots level because of the presence of regional forces, some would argue that electoral malpractices and discrepancies in electoral rolls is a known and established reality in an election process, in a sense that the process has never been technically completely fair. How much do you believe can be really corrected from a mobilization like this? Is it purely used to set a political argument at this time?
No, I don't think. First, I'd like to clarify that this is not a battle between the Congress and the ruling party or the union government. It is, a fight for the people, by the people, because it is their right to elect a government, have a fair and free election. And I do not agree with you when you say states like Tamil Nadu have never had free polls, and it is always, shrouded in doubt and confusion. Definitely not. And even if it is true, what you're trying to say is we don't want it to happen. We want to have a fair election wherever it is. Throughout the country, I think the election process should be free and fair. That is what we want. What the people want to be chosen as a government.
Right, you're saying it has to be
Karim, I know you have to
broad
leave.
process.
My last question to you: how much of an issue is this for the state of Tamil Nadu, which will also see elections this year? Do you see the electoral rolls issue, the vote theft issue, the allegations having some resonance amongst voters of Tamil Nadu?
No, I think it's a concern for every state. I mean, we've seen elections in Haryana, we've seen elections in Maharashtra, we've seen what happened in Delhi polls. So, I cannot say that any state can be safe if this is the way the government is going to function, and if this is the manner in which the election commission is going to conduct itself. I don't think any state or any election in this country can be, a fair election. And I think it is their responsibility to, clear this doubt which is there in the minds of people.
You say it's the responsibility of the Election Commission to clear the doubt in the minds of the people. Thanks very much there, Kanimozhi Karunanidhi, chief of the DMKs Parliamentary Party, one of the MPs who quoted arrest this morning there, along with all the other opposition MPs. Vasudha, this is obviously a major issue, and you are in touch with the top of the BJP's establishment there. In fact, Prahlad Joshi, the union minister, was there at the event that you are in. Any word you're getting in from the government in terms of how far and how they plan to negate such a fierce and persistent protest by the opposition?
Absolutely, Veera. In fact, the BJP has been fielding its big guns. We saw a press conference by Bhupendra Yadav just 2 days ago where he brought out examples of at least 50 assembly constituencies in Maharashtra where the number of voters has significantly gone up, which is allegation with regard to Mahadevpura of Rahul Gandhi. And he said in all those seats, it is the opposition party that has won. Today, Dharmendra Pradhan, the Minister for Education, also addressed media. And he said that this is a ploy by the opposition to bring in instability to the country. Piyush Goyal, the Minister of Commerce, also spoke about how the opposition was completely unprepared and wanted an audience with the Election Commission without really understanding what they wanted. So clearly, BJP is trying to field its big guns. It does not want to lose the war of narrative. But remember that whatever Rahul Gandhi has said, in some ways has struck a chord with at least the India parties. The India bloc was withering away is what we felt. But of course, this is one issue that has become a rallying point. And as a political journalist, I do think that this is something that has not just brought the India bloc together. This is more a mobilization effort by India bloc parties to create a resonance or at least discussion in the country about the issues that they are raising in a united voice.
Right.
And we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but clearly a clash of narratives from both sides.
Let's listen into that reactions from earlier in the day before we head to our special panel this evening to discuss this issue.
देखिए, हिंदुस्तान की डेमोक्रेसी की हालत देखिए, 300 एमपीज इलेक्शन कमीशन से मिलना चाहते हैं और कहते हैं कि हम डेलीगेशन लेके आएंगे, हम आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट देना चाहते हैं। इलेक्शन कमीशन कहता है नहीं, 300 एमपीज नहीं आ सकते हैं। तो यही हालत है, क्योंकि डरते हैं। 300 एमपीज आ गए और वहाँ पे सच्चाई निकल आई और हमने उनको थोड़ा जो उनके काम की सच्चाई है दिखा दी। देश की जो आत्मा है, स्पिरिचुअल देश का जो आत्मा है, उसके लिए लड़ाई हो रही है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की लड़ाई है। 1 मैन 1 वोट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का फाउंडेशन है। 1 मैन 1 वोट के बिना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का कोई मतलब नहीं है।
जो सुधार हो रहा है उस सुधार के खिलाफ बजाय के समझने के विषय क्या है, एक बेबुनियाद विवाद खड़ा करने की कोशिश कर। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर और डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिशियल्स वही इलेक्शन कमीशन होते हैं, वही चलाते हैं। तो हर एक राज्य में उनके राज्य के जो इलेक्टोरल ऑफिसर्स हैं वो सुधार अगर करते हैं और ईमानदारी से अच्छी इलेक्शन लिस्ट बनती है, वोटर लिस्ट बनती है, वो हम सबका सामूहिक प्रयास होना चाहिए। तो राहुल गांधी जी देश को जवाब दें, पार्लियामेंट में महत्व का काम होने नहीं दे रहे हैं, इलेक्शन कमीशन को सहायता देनी चाहिए।
So clearly that face-off is likely to dominate in the coming days as well, Vasudha, till there is some kind of a consensus between the opposition, the government, and perhaps getting a clear response from the election commission. Joining us, Charu Pragya of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sugata Paul of the Congress, and Sandeep Shastri, noted cephalogist as well. But Vasudha, to you first, what would you believe is the defining question that needs to be asked today, given that we've been asking the same questions over and over the last 1 week?
Well, I do think what we discussed earlier, Veera, is very important, that the irregularities that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has raised are very important, and there needs to be a probe. But like we said, this is a huge country, and in political system there are always these discrepancies, and I don't agree to the fact that decentralized discrepancies can also point to a large-scale political conspiracy between the ruling party and ECI. It's too early to sort of say something like that is happening, but we'll have to wait and watch as to how political parties, sort of address this, because at the end of the day, this is politics, and politics is all about perception and narratives. Charu Pragya, starting with you today, I was reminded of the Constitution debate, because when the debate picked up, it seemed that it was not really going to go anywhere, but then it, of course, became the hallmark of 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Do you see the S.I.R. debate, the electoral rolls debate, going in your advantage or going against you in this whole battle of perception?
Vasudha and Veera, very good evening to you. Good evening to my fellow co-panelists and all our viewers today. I think this debate is going to go the same way that the Rafale debate has gone, the same way Chaukidar Chor has gone, the same way Rahul Gandhi's career seems to be going after 98 losses in a row. Because, Vasudha, here are vital points that Congress seems to be completely missing out. One, when you give examples, those examples are proved to be false and fabricated by the Election Commission. Shakun Rani, it was alleged that the 70-year-old lady has voted twice by Rahul Gandhi. He said that, but the Election Commission refuted that with proof. Point number 2, the Election Commission has done a detailed press conference in December 2024 with a point-by-point rebuttal of every single allegation raised by Rahul Gandhi. Raised 6 months too late, by the way, about Maharashtra elections, but still the Election Commission was gracious enough to address them all. Thirdly, a letter was sent to Rahul Gandhi on 12th of June asking him to come and meet them so that if anything else remains, it can be sorted out. What did Rahul Gandhi do? Absolutely nothing. What does he continue to do? He stands behind the safety of a podium and shoots off his mouth. Is he willing to put his words on paper and his signature on that paper? No. You know why? Because he's aware if he signs a document that he knows is false, fake, fabricated, according to the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, he could be behind bars for 7 long years. And this is my challenge to the Congress party. Please put
Let me get Sugata to respond to that. You made a very strong point. Let me get Sugata to respond to that. Sugata, respond to what Charu Pragya is saying.
Good evening to you and to my fellow panelists and also to your audiences. This problem has been there for a long, long time. And if there are questions being asked of the ECI, the BJP spokesperson should stop becoming the spokespersons of the Election Commission of India. The fact is that this started with pictures of Anil Masih of Chandigarh that all of us saw. And we saw how vote chori happened at that time. And then after that, in violation of the Supreme Court's order, the balance was tilted in favor of the ruling party when the how you form the ECI was left to the BJP. Why? Because the two members of the committee which selects the election commissioners was in favor of the BJP. Clearly, the Chief Justice of India should have been there. So starting from there, if you come to the Bihar rolls, which has become a big matter of concern also, is it not a fact that in 2001 there was a census after which the SIR of 2003 was done? Has there been a census after 2021? So from where are they getting this data? But if you look at the petition which was filed by the ADR in the Honorable Supreme Court, there were certain instances which were given by ADR in their petition where they said that in Darbhanga and Kemur, there were certain names which were removed from there. Why did that happen? And there was no reason being given, and the Honorable Supreme Court was told by the ECI that the law says that we don't need to tell anybody except the political parties. Well, these are the same people
Absolutely.
who put
Charu
up
Pragya,
the
respond to
digital,
Sujata's allegations, because these are also important points. Yeah.
Yes, the digital.
Sujata will come back to you. Charu, respond to whatever Sujata pointed out.
So, a digital role is basically what the Election Commission is anyways putting out, right? It is accessible, everything is transparent. Vasudha, I want to just say one thing, and please understand this. The Election Commission has a very transparent process of adding or removing names. Now, if the Congress party or any other party for that matter has a problem with addition or deletion of names, this entire month of August was to raise complaints. Do you know how many complaints have been raised by any of the opposition parties in Bihar or elsewhere? Bihar SIR is going on right now. Congress, zero. Laluji's party, zero. So 11 days have lapsed with you screaming and shouting
Sujata.
and disrupting the parliament.
Yes,
and
the fact is that even
Charu is saying that you've
even
not bothered to go to the election
don't
commission
go
before
to-
going to the streets. Respond.
You know, Raghav, before the Lok Sabha elections also, there were complaints filed regarding the voters list. And none of those questions were answered by the EC. Every time the opposition has tried to meet the ECI, they have not given time. And now you're seeing what has happened. There are basically 5 questions that we are asking. And if the BJP wants to be the spokesperson for the ECI, let them answer this. Why is it that the voter list in digital machine readable format is not being given? Why is it not being given to the people of this country by uploading them on the website? Why is the video evidence being destroyed? Why was the rule changed for that? Why are you speaking in between? I didn't speak in between. That means you have no answers. That's the fact. You're showing that you don't have answers. The ECI is committing this massive fraud in the voter list by giving addresses as zero, hashtag, etc. Why don't they answer that? Why is the ECI threatening the opposition instead of answering a question? And the ECI is behaving like an
Quick response from you. Quick response, Charu, before I go to Sandeep Shastri, who's been patiently waiting.
Of the ECI.
I'm sorry, Sandeep sir. Just allow me 30 more seconds. So asking you to sign on the allegations that you're levying against the Election Commission.
Who are you to ask that? You are nobody. It is
Okay, let's go to Sandeep Shastri now, political analyst. Sandeep Shastri, Professor Shastri, Karnataka is in the spotlight of all these allegations. Do you see that the opposition finally has picked an issue that has some resonance, at least amongst its allies? Or do you see this issue as also something that people might find it very difficult to understand?
Vasudha, I would start by saying we should not make this a Congress versus BJP issue. And that is convenient for both parties if you make it a Congress versus BJP issue. It is an issue relating to the transparency of the way in which the Election Commission functions. It is a question about the consistency in the approach that the Election Commission adopts. The moment this becomes a slugfest between two parties, the party issues come into play. You're talking of leader of the opposition, you're talking of ruling party, you're talking of spokespersons on both sides. This is not a contestation of facts relating to parties. This is a simple point on the authenticity of roles. And let me also add this. There has been an overreach on all sides. There could have been better language used than saying that there is a vote theft. There could have been better language used than saying that when we come to power, we'll take action against all officers. Now, that was an overreach for me. Just as the election commission not responding to issues raised, and I think today the election commission not giving time to a delegation of 300 MPs to meet them, I think that the election commission needs to function with an element of transparency. But the whole debate has got limited to a fight between the ruling party and the opposition, which it should not have become. This is not an issue between parties. This is a question about the election commission and its way of functioning, and a very important point about the sanctity of the electoral rolls. And I think that issue
actually an issue.
requires citizens to have confidence on that matter.
It's actually an issue between the citizens and the election commission largely, irrespective of which political party makes it. 10 seconds, very, very briefly. What's the end game, Sugata Paul, for the opposition? What will satisfy you? Very quickly.
Yeah. This is a fight of the people that is going to be fought by us on their behalf. And this fight, rightly said by Shastri ji, is between us and the election commission, and we represent the people today because the Bharatiya Janata Party has no problems if there are some issues.
Charu, final word.
In the voters list, and action will be taken against those who have perpetrated this injustice.
Okay, Charu Pragya, final word.
So the final word is
right.
this.
Charu Pragya, yeah.
When you claim to stand for the people, please put where your money where your mouth is, because you've been lying every single day, and then you cannot say I've taken an oath in parliament and expect that to stand for everything. You took an oath in parliament when you lied about Rahul.
Who are you to say this? That is for the ECI to be talking to the opposition, not the BJP.
Okay, we'll leave this exchange here. It's an intense exchange which should be not focused on the noise and political accusations, something that needs substantial conversation. But thanks to all three of you for joining us. Vasudha has also spoken to Prahlad Joshi, Union Minister, on this issue. We'll try and play that to you as soon as we come back from a very short break.
India slams Pakistan's army chief's nuclear threat, says it reflects irresponsibility and that India won't give in to such nuclear blackmail. MEA says India nuclear threats is rattling Pakistan's threat. Senior Karnataka Cabinet Minister resigns after diktat from party high command. Rajana's remarks against Congress in the vote fraud allegations came as a serious embarrassment for the party. And actor Rana Daggubati appears before ED in the illegal betting scam controversy, is quizzed for almost 4 hours. Rania Rao's cop father, has been reinstated now.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edappadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
You
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में, फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है। बुलाओ।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
फाइनल फिनिस्टा।
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा।
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए ये तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire dabba trading scam.
जय जवान, जो मैंने शुरू किया था ये एक्चुअली, मैं दोबारा आया हूँ आप लोग से मिलने के लिए। मुझे बड़ी खुशी है, आप देख रहे हैं YouTube पे मेरी फिल्म। वाह क्या बात है, क्या बात है। देखिए जय जवान मेरे साथ 15 अगस्त को सिर्फ NDTV पर। जय जवान, जय जवान, जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You need everything in place, the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
You know, that's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much you give, how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special skill. I don't know any scale or anything else. It's just that I enjoy that process a lot. Give me an evening to just go for a film party or something, I'll skip it. But you give me like a struggling musician to go who has a great tune, some new guys, chill all night with them. I can do that. I can just sit there, make music and stuff like that. We just did that recently. Fahim came down. He just surprised us, and we met in my Bandra office. And Ahan was there, Aneet was there, and he made me hear his other songs and stuff like that. But it was it's so much fun. Because I just think making music, film, you still get to see something. Yeah. I think music is so amazing. You don't need to see anything. It's in the air, and suddenly it just comes together, and it's just, you can just feel it. And something you hear makes you feel.
Hello. Moto G96 5G.
All eyes on you.
Welcome back now to rising violence and physical abuse amongst teenagers, which is a growing concern. 5 Class 12 students of a government college in Andhra Pradesh's Palnad district have been arrested and a Class 11 student detained for assaulting another student, allegedly because of a friendship with a girl student. The video that you're seeing on your screens shows the brutality in the way the teenagers assaulted the boy, locked him in a room, beat him up repeatedly. This is not a case of ragging. The police say the victim had a relationship with another girl, had reportedly friends with another girl, which didn't go down well with a postgraduate student who later, undergraduate student who told other students to take him to a hostel and treat him the way he was treated. There you see that on your screens. None of them were residents of that hostel. This is deeply concerning to any parent or teacher. Psychologist and author Aarti C. Rajaratnam and former IPS officer Vikram Singh join us here on the show this evening. Mr. Singh, there's nothing really new to ask. We keep focusing on every such case because how we react to each one of these cases is a message perhaps to prevent one from happening in the future.
Absolutely right. This is an administrative tragedy that was totally avoidable. What I do feel is that these boys, the aggressors, are serial offenders, intoxicated in alcohol and substance, probably ganja. They are serial offenders. This is not the first time that they have come to light in such brutal acts of vandalism and bullying. And you very rightly mentioned, it is not ragging at all. This is plain and simple bullying and almost a murderous assault on a person who is surrounded by 5 hoodlums. Now, I do hope that the police, when they make up the charges, don't treat the assailants as minors, because what they are doing is an absolutely premeditated, and of course, they are fully aware of the consequences of their actions. The intoxication and the brutal manner in which they are assaulting the victim goes to show that they have little or no regard for hitting on the vital parts. It could easily lead to the death. I'm very appalled and also shocked by the lapses committed by the authorities of the institution, that these serial offenders have a free run in the hostel. No CCTVs, no wardens, no checks, no cross checks, free movement. They could have done much better, and more so when the assailants happen to be serial offenders. I had expected a lot more in these days of IT and CCTV. But yes, during the course of the debate and the discussion, I would say more we could have done. This is something that we gave up through caution to the winds. And now we are seeing a situation where the victim has been bruised, literally and metaphorically, for a lifetime, and his anguish and his bruises will never go away.
Right. Aarti Rajaratnam, you must also be extremely disturbed when you see these pictures. We keep discussing these issues, but it's also largely a reflection of the extent of violence that's ingrained in teens, which they've picked up perhaps from social media, from movies, that they can go to this extent of inhumanity.
I need to set certain things in context. In my book, I've specifically written about what's called a mental toxin. A toxin is something that we don't know exists in the environment. So when students are repeatedly shown videos of violence, like, for example, things like rape, you can actually pick, how to rape somebody. You can actually Google that and you can find videos. Similarly, assault and things like that are very, very openly and easily available. So when somebody is repeatedly looking at this, watching this, and even in their games, if you don't like somebody, you're competing against somebody, you sort of, just push them off a bike, you just sort of shoot them, things like that. These are all become very, very common for children. So for the teenage brain, which is already struggling to access higher order thinking, where they're able to think through, okay, these would be the consequences of my action, and this is what I shouldn't be doing. I should be talking to the person with more compassion, with empathy, things like that. That's missing. So having said that, in this particular case, like you've already mentioned, it's not ragging, because ragging was more initiatory in nature. This is very clearly, also I did read in a couple of the reports, there was a caste angle as well. So considering all of this, I feel also the way in which we are portraying love and liking somebody is also something that's very skewed. In this particular case, the boy seems to have liked a girl. We don't know was it just infatuation, what kind of relationship it was. But either way, it was another postgraduate student not liking this relationship. So even dealing with basic human emotions like jealousy, you don't deal with jealousy with so much of aggression and violence. These are things that are not acceptable. And I think it's not something that we can look at in isolation. These are series of events that are happening across the country. Maybe one or two that are so brutally, disturbing are the ones that are getting reported. But it's happening on an everyday basis, and also our movies. Look at the stalkers that are being supported. In that we are normalizing that kind of violence. And I think somewhere, we'll have to start censoring this information so that the young mind, which is already not capable of making healthy decisions, is not moved to such brutal levels of action.
Yes, as parents, as psychologists, as lawmakers, as law enforcers, it is an extreme concern. I wish we had a little more time to discuss it. Unfortunately, we don't. But this is an issue of grave concern, and we will keep focusing with both Dr. Vikram Singh as well as you, Aarti, on this in the future. But now to another stern message on stray dogs from the Supreme Court. The court today ordered all stray dogs in Delhi's NCR to be shifted away from residential localities and warned any organization that blocks this exercise of the strictest action. The top court's order comes amidst a rise in cases of dog bites in Delhi, leading to rabies deaths. Not just in Delhi, it's across the India. Viral videos of dog attacks being circulated from across the country. But is this implementable? Can it be done in a humane manner? Serious questions there on how to end what's become a life-threatening menace. Should this be dealt with across the country with one policy? Remember, NDTV has been campaigning on this issue about the menace of stray dogs and finding a solution to it. Remember, members of parliament have even spoken about this issue, and this is not one of some light concern. This is not a civic urban issue. It's a larger national question, and one that cuts across cities, one that also has a strong emotional polarizing effect on people on two sides of the debate. Joining me this evening is Priya Chetty Rajagopal, who is known for her work with canines as well as trying to keep human beings safe in Bengaluru. Also with us, Dr. Anurag Agarwal, General Secretary, Consortium Against Rabies. Priya Chetty Rajagopal, the suggestion from the Supreme Court is that take the stray dogs away from wherever they are, put them in another place, because human beings need to be protected at this stage. How do we implement this across perhaps the country? Is it possible and the kind of scale that we're talking about?
First, I'm so sorry about, the fact that there has been so many cases and so many issues which have this kind of order. But we must remember that the Honorable Supreme Court has given this order suo moto primarily because of a single incident and perhaps others also in Delhi. So this is limited to NCR in Delhi at the moment. And I think it's very unfortunate, but we all very mindful about the impact on human lives. I have always talked about the fact that we must always keep that in mind, and that's an important thing. But the issue of dog pounds is a very, very difficult one, and I am a little concerned about how this plays out. I respect and understand the Honorable Supreme Court's concern and worry about the issue and the impact on children and human lives. But in the larger scheme of things, if you look at the NFA board and the ABC rules of 2023, you'll have to make changes in the law in order to implement. And secondly, in order to create an implementation framework around this is going to be a humongous task. And the third thing is that what we are really penalizing is, unfortunately, a very, very, very slow-moving civic mechanism, or rather municipal mechanism, which has not implemented the ABC rules, which is on ABC and animal birth control and anti-rabies vaccination as aggressively as it should. Bangalore, in fact, stands out in a good way, but we don't see this across Karnataka. So there has to be a huge sort of a jump on that. And unless we do that, we're not going to see results. So my worry is, how are we going to, how are we going to go ahead with the focus on ABC and ARV? But as I said, right now,
Dr. Anurag, Priya asking, how are we going to go ahead on this? How would you respond to that? I mean, there are multiple concerns here, but I think the primacy is for anyone who's been perhaps bitten by a dog. One can understand the sense of outrage that this really needs to be sorted. And I think a lot of us who walk around in the nights from wherever we go do find this extremely disconcerting, scary. It's a matter of concern. How do we sort this?
Yeah, so this problem, as we all know, is a huge issue which is burning across the country. And finally, the Supreme Court, I would like to congratulate the honorable judges who have taken this stand that we have to do something. We have to remove strays from the streets. We have to get them vaccinated. We have to get them sterilized. And we have to finally counter the menace of rabies. See, we have around 6,000 deaths every year being reported. This was the latest Lancet paper published last year. And there are millions of bites taking place across the country. Some are managed, some are not managed. And of course, kids are being mauled by these dogs. So first of all, we have to move forward in some direction. The court finally has said that whatever steps are taken which are being hindered by lots of animal lovers, so-called animal lovers, people who go and feed dogs on the street and say that I am an animal lover. They are not animal lovers. They are doing more harm than good. Yes, there are some genuine animal lovers. I too love dogs. But that does not mean that I have the right to feed strays anywhere and everywhere I feel like. I cannot feed a stray outside the gate of a society of somebody from outside the gate of my nearby resident, and then the dog can pounce upon his kid, keep sitting there, keep defecating there and all that. So these are problems which need to be tackled. There are multiple ways of doing it, and the court has thought that, okay, let us create at least a shelter. Let us make Delhi a model city for this, create some shelters, some pounds, wherein we will catch hold of these dogs in large numbers and keep them there. Yes, it is a humongous task. I totally agree with that. But we have to start somewhere. Somebody has to take an action. So what we need
what
is...
you're saying is right.
So what
go
we
ahead,
need
go ahead.
is...
Just finish your point.
Yeah. So what we need is that the government ultimately gets sensitized, takes this policy aggressively forward, talks to people who are in the know-how. See, I am a pediatrician. I am working with the human component of managing dog bite. We need a One Health approach, which simply means that environmentalists and veterinarians and animal activists and people from medical side, that is allopathic doctors, who need to come together.
I think both Priya and you are on the
platform.
same page. You're making a very, very important point. I just wish I had a little more time to discuss this issue. Unfortunately, a bit of breaking news coming in and I'll have to leave this conversation, but we'll keep a focus on it, have a sensible, humane debate on this point, which is extremely important to protect everybody there. But I'll just have to go across to a quick bit of breaking news that's coming in. My colleague Vasudha Venugopal, as I mentioned earlier, had spoken to Union Minister Prahlad Joshi about the opposition protests. Let's just listen in to what he had to say.
Senior Minister in the Modi cabinet, Prahlad Joshi, joins us. Thank you, Mr. Joshi, for speaking to NDTV. So the opposition had a big protest today, the unified opposition, united opposition, and they are saying that there's been massive vote theft, specifically spotlighting Mahadevapura constituency of Bengaluru Central. You're from Karnataka. How seriously is the party and the government taking these allegations?
First of all, कितना childish है इससे पता चलता है. 2023 में वो 136 सीट जीते थे. They have won almost 136 seats. तब उनको याद नहीं आया, तो ठीक है. और सरकार उनका था, तो इलेक्शन कमीशन दिल्ली से काम करते हैं तो भी, तो उधर एक्चुअली जो इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करते हैं. इलेक्शन कमीशन इन डिस्ट्रिक्ट मीन्स इट इज़ डीसी और डीएम. तो क्यों नहीं देखा? सरकार उनका ही था. वही प्रश्न उधर के जो अभी मंत्री है, सीनियर मोस्ट पॉलिटिशियन एंड मिनिस्टर, उन्होंने बोला, उनको हटा दिया गया. मेरा प्रश्न है, राहुल गांधी को जब बेंगलुरु में जाके इन्होंने प्रेस मीट किया, ही वॉज टोल्ड टू गिव कंप्लेंट ऑफिशियली विथ एन ओथ. क्यों नहीं किया? और ये महादेवपुर के जो किया है वही तो ऐसे महादेवपुर में है ऐसे मैं मानता हूँ, क्योंकि उन्होंने 35 कुछ बोला है ना, बहुत लोग उधर जाके देखा है। वो 35 एक सर्वे नंबर है, दैट 35 सर्वे नंबर में देर आर अराउंड 36 रूम्स। तो उधर माइग्रेंट लेबर्स आते रहते हैं, जाते रहते हैं। दिस इज वॉट इट हैज़ बीन टोल्ड बाय द ओनर। Anyhow, let us keep it aside. But to inquire into that, and he has told, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has told that one particular person has voted twice. Election Commission has asked him to give the details. He has not given. And whatever he has quoted, they are two different persons. But he has claimed that. Another one, he has claimed that whereas one person, same person, is being enrolled here, Maharashtra and Lucknow. Aditya Srivastav. That is being denied flatly with proof by the commission. But in spite of that, commission has asked him to give the written complaint with a oath. Why he is not ready? If he is confident. Another point I would like to tell you. Today, 30 people were permitted to meet election commission. क्या आप 300-400 लोग अंदर घुस के आप लॉलेसनेस क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं? आपका इरादा क्या है? चर्चा करके अगर इफ़ यू आर सीरियस अबाउट योर एलिगेशन, तो जब इलेक्शन कमीशन आपको अंदर बुलाया है, व्हाई आर यू नॉट गोइंग फॉर डिस्कशन? आपके पास जो सबूत है, आपके पास जो पेपर्स है, डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, व्हाई आर यू नॉट सबमिटिंग? व्हाट इज योर प्रॉब्लम? देयर ऑल्सो इन बेंगलुरु, Chief Electoral Officer of Karnataka, he immediately requested him come and file a complaint with an oath. तो क्या बताया गया? पुलिस कमिश्नर ने बताया सिक्योरिटी इशू है। क्या सिक्योरिटी इशू है? उधर से 300 मीटर है, मीन 3 मिनट का रास्ता। फ्रीडम पार्क से इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ कर्नाटका ऑफिस इज 300 मीटर। And whether they have given program to the police that we are going to the election commission office, and if at all that is fact, whether commissioner has given in writing that we will not be able to provide security, is there? It is not there. Means झूठ बोलना, बोगस बोलना, आरोप लगाना, भाग जाना। जो जब भी हारते हैं ना कांग्रेस पार्टी, स्पेशली राहुल गांधी के नेतृत्व में जब लगातार हार रहे हैं, इनको पहले तो ईवीएम के बारे में बोला, बाद में इलेक्शन के बाद इलेक्शन कमिश्नर के बारे में बोला, अभी इसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं।
Well, the political battle intensifying in the national capital, but the battle for tickets is what is going to intensify down south with Rajinikanth's Coolie all set to hit the screens this Thursday. Let's look at how the movie is doing as far as advance booking is concerned.
It's Rajinikanth versus Hrithik Roshan and Junior NTR at the box office this weekend. The advance booking sales for both Coolie and War 2 opened on Sunday. Let's take a look at the scoreboards. Directed by Lokesh Kanagaraj, Coolie marks Rajinikanth's 171st film, co-starring Nagarjuna, Shruti Hassan, Upendra, Sobin Shahir and Satyaraj, with a cameo by Amir Khan. And it's already dominating early sales. The film has pulled in 14 crore rupees in advance sales, with 6 lakh tickets already sold across Hindi, Tamil, Telugu and Kannada. Add in block seats, the tickets which theatres hold back for last-minute rush or special promotions, and that total climbs to almost 20 crore rupees. The film's overseas total has already touched 41 crore rupees, higher than the lifetime foreign earnings of Kamal Hassan's Thug Life. With these numbers, Coolie is on track to break the all-time Tamil film advance booking record of 46 crore rupees set by Leo. The challenger, War 2, is off to a slower start. So far, it's earned 2.08 crore rupees with just under 57,000 tickets booked for over 6,700 shows across India. When you include block bookings, the total stands at 5.72 crore rupees. Of YRF's earlier spy universe blockbusters, War, Pathan, Tiger 3 and even less than their last romantic drama, Sayara. As of now, Coolie is way ahead in this Independence Day box office race. But with holiday crowds pouring into theatres, can War 2 close the gap? We'll be watching the numbers.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out there.
गोल्ड ग्लास क्लियर ग्लास, पार हो या नियर, सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशी ताई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में? चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Finesta.
मेरे हम सफर एक जरा इंतजार, सुन सदाएं दे रही है मंजिल प्यार की। जय जवान, जय हिंद, जय हिंद। The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I
or
hold
buy
CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Rajasthan is history, culture and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru, only on NDTV 24/7.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
So Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, speaking from the United States of America, a place where one would imagine he'd be on his best diplomatic behavior, decided to announce to the world, we are a nuclear nation. If we think we are going down, we'll take half the world down with us. Let's just pause and admire the comedy here, because there is so much comedy here, even though we are talking about weapons of mass destruction. This is the same Asim Munir whose entire military went down just 3 months ago under Operation Sindoor. So what is he talking about? Not figuratively, literally. Crushed, dismantled, begging for a ceasefire like a shopkeeper pleading with an angry landlord. And yet, here he is in the United States threatening Armageddon. It's like the class clown who failed the maths test now announcing he will blow up the school. By brandishing nuclear weapons, even on foreign soil, Asim Munir has effectively confirmed what many of us have long known, what the world has long known. From the greenest recruit to the top brass, the Pakistan Army is simply a uniformed suicide bomber collective. The difference, instead of a suicide vest, they've got nukes, but apparently the same jihadi mindset. And what timing, just 90 days since those same nuclear weapons in Pakistan spectacularly failed to deter India. 3 months since India's missiles punched straight through Pakistan's air defense, which turned out to be more air than defense, and led their network to ruin. 3 months since their DGMO had to phone Delhi in tones so deferential, you could almost hear the white flag rustling down the line. But here's Asim Munir, a self-promoted cartoon general, after a humiliating defeat, waving the same nuclear weapons whose bluff was already called by the Indian military and the Indian political establishment. It's a whole new season of Pakistani comedy. And notice his exact words, not we will destroy the enemy or we will destroy India, but we will take half the world down. That's not strategy, that is something a suicide bomber's mission statement might actually look like. It's also a loud confirmation of the world's worst fear, that Pakistan's nuclear program is run by a man who talks like a jihadi. This is the DNA of Pakistan's military culture. Jihadism so baked in that even nuclear weapons are discussed like cheap threats at a roadside dhaba. Mature nuclear powers use their capability as a silent deterrent. Pakistan, look at these pictures, they're not even an exaggeration. It shouts it from the rooftops like a toddler screaming, "My toy is bigger." And this is why Operation Sindoor hasn't paused. You keep hearing that. Well, it's true. Not militarily, not psychologically, clearly, because Sindoor's shockwaves are still rattling the corridors of General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. It's visible in the twitchy, juvenile words of its top general Asim Munir, a man bruised by psychological and military defeat that he thinks these cartoonish nuclear threats make him sound strong, make him sound like he is in power. They don't. They make him sound exactly what he is: insecure, reckless, and desperate. Which other nuclear power needs to go to a foreign country and say, I will use my nuclear weapons and half the world will be destroyed? And as a last word on this, let's not lose sight of how Asim Munir felt confident enough to issue such a threat from American soil, a country that India has described in its response as a friendly third country. The US, which has lectures ready for nuclear around the world, which has bombed Iran recently as well, is happy to smile and wave as Munir chomps on chicken and salmon while having a wet dream about a burning world. And these are the questions that we are asking tonight, because even though, as you saw in those initial images, a lot of hilarity, a lot of jokes, a lot of satire can be had over what General Munir has actually said, but this is a dead serious issue because we're dealing with an unstable country that has nuclear weapons. So the question I'm asking tonight, number one, does India need to review its nuclear policy? Possibly even India's no first use nuclear doctrine. It has been suggested before by positions including at least two defense ministers, including the current defense minister. So does it warrant a review? Number two, what does this say about Pakistan's nuclear command and control if the highest man in that country can brandish it so irresponsibly? Number three, is this Asim Munir's desperation rather than a word of deterrence? Number four, will the world respond to this nuclear threat in suicide bomber language? Because how else is one to describe the words that have been chosen by Asim Munir? Do Asim Munir's words prove that Pakistan's nukes are ideologically primed? This is not a professional military, but rather one that wants to see the world burn. Is India under a real risk of Pakistan's irresponsible use of nuclear weapons? Is the question that we are asking tonight. And to get serious about the Nautanki with a capital N that we're talking about tonight, and the words that Asim Munir has used while on this US trip, let's bring in Sushant Sareen, one of India's best-known strategic affairs observers. He's also a senior fellow with the ORF. Kushal Mehra is an author, podcaster, and watcher of all things Pakistan, Trump, and beyond. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra is a well-known veteran, former diplomat and part of the IFS. Sushant, I'd like to kick it off with you. I don't even know how to frame my question, honestly, because everything is there in what Asim Munir has actually said. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Sushant, on him saying, we are a nuclear nation. If you come at us, we'll take half the world down with us?
Shiv, I think despite the fact that these guys are loudmouths, I think we need to take this with a certain degree of seriousness, and I'll tell you the reason why. Please remember that Asim Munir is the first Pakistani army chief who, as the Indian analysts who have been looking at Pakistan have been anticipating, is that Zia Bharti guy. The first one, not technically Bajwa, but Bajwa was commissioned in 1980 when things are still pretty new, and the ideological and the indoctrination transformation had not taken place. Asim Munir is one of those crazy characters who steeped into the trash which was being taught in Pakistani academies, right? So there will be more of Asim Munirs to follow, just like there'll be more of Donald Trumps to follow Donald Trump. That is one. Secondly, please remember that this is neither the first person who has said we will not just fire at India, we will destroy the world. Right? There are other Pakistanis, generals and others who have retired, not army chiefs, but at least generals who have gone on record and said this. I'm not even talking about silly, stupid politicians like Sheikh Rashid. There's very little to choose between Asim Munir and Sheikh Rashid, considering they both come from Rawalpindi and they have the same IQ. But there are others who have said this. Number three, and equally important, this is not the first time Asim Munir has said something as stupid as this on American soil. During his last visit, he had said something similar. The only thing was that there was no story which was published, which, you could say that, look, this is the kind of stuff he has talked. But there were many hints that he said stuff which a lot of people which had left a lot of people aghast, whether how to take a guy like this saying the kind of stuff he's been talking about, and his boastful nature. And finally, on this whole nuclear, this no first news business, I think there is a need for a review. And the reason for that is that, look, if you're dealing with a country like Pakistan and unhinged, crazy characters, the fact of the matter is they don't take your NFU seriously anyways, right? So to them and say that at least as far as Pakistan is concerned, there's no NFU.
Okay.
Maybe with other countries, we will have an NFU, but as far as Pakistan is concerned, all this in the past.
Yes.
In one form or another, that I think that the Pakistanis are going to be launching on us, we will preempt them.
Okay.
Something similar might have happened this time around also. When Shabash Sharif, we had warned them and we realized that they preempted us by launching their missiles on us. I think we need to start taking these things a little more seriously.
Okay.
Yes, we should make fun of him. We should mock him and lampoon him because that's what Pakistanis are worth.
No, I agree with you. We are mocking and lampooning him, but like I said in my opening comment, this is a deadly serious issue because he is, after all, the man who controls Pakistan, and it is a country that has all of these weapons. Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain is also joining us. Thanks for being with us. Good evening to you as well, sir. How are you reading what Asim Munir has said? Are you surprised? Of course, there's a great deal of, satire that is happening. People are making memes of it. But this is something that needs to be taken seriously, says Sushant Sareen. What do you think, General Hasnain?
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you for inviting me for this program. Yes, morning I got up today and saw the news. And my first response was, this is not something spontaneous which he has said in Tampa. It's not that out of someone has just questioned him and he has, suddenly blurted this out. This is a very deliberately hatched out kind of a thing which he has gone with to make these statements there. There are a couple of reasons for it. Number one, a pushback against India in the international media, going on foreign soil and saying it. He could have said this in Rawalpindi.
Correct.
But if he said it in Rawalpindi, no one would take notice of it internationally. But here he said it in Tampa, said it in the US. Obviously, not only the diaspora, the Pakistani diaspora, the Indian diaspora will take note, and the international media takes note. So this is a thing to say, see, we are equal to you, right? If you think you are economically a superpower and things like that, remember, wrestling with us will bring you down to the same level.
Yeah.
That's the kind, it's the crude kind of way to put it. And this is not something new, let me tell you. Okay. I have been dealing with a lot of Pakistani generals on the track too. The same thing in slightly different words in Hindi said, Sanam, agar hum doobenge, to sabko saath lekar doobenge.
That's right.
It's that kind of a thing which they've been stating. I would also use another Urdu idiom for this. Khisyani billi khamba noche. Very typical thing, that when you are jealous, when you are perturbed, when you want to do something to come out of it and show yourself as a stronger nation, a stronger person, someone more capable, etc.
Yeah.
To that extent, I disagree with my friend Sushant.
Okay.
Why are you wrestling with the pig here? Why do you want to take them down like this? Ignore him, in 2 days this will be off from the scanner. You want to get into it and go down to his level. Your thing is moral ascendancy. You have won a conflict. You are a technologically, economically a much bigger power. You are looked upon with an eye of responsibility by the international community. You want to come down to his level. You want to come down to their level, to the Pakistan Army's level as an institution. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyone who tries to convince me, I am not convinced on that aspect. And as for your memes which are running behind you at the moment also, I don't agree entirely.
Okay.
India the dignity of India is much higher.
No, that's just us. That's not the Indian
involved in
government.
these kind of things.
Yeah. No, I take your point. I take your point, General. Sushant, you want to quickly reply? General Hasnain says he doesn't agree with you. He says why even engage? I'm assuming General Hassan disagrees that, even the statement that we put out, the harsh statement that we put out from the MEA today wasn't necessary. Why engage with the guy and give him any attention on this? Sushant?
No, I think, Shiv, you cannot simply ignore these kind of ravings and rantings of a lunatic. We keep talking, and General Hassan knows that we've spoken about this. We keep talking about strategic communications, the fact that there are different audiences around the world that you need to address in certain idioms which they will understand. Now, our problem is that there is also an audience in Pakistan which you have to tell them in no uncertain terms that, listen, if you guys think that, these threats are going to wash on us, we are not going to just simply behave the nice, mature guy and keep quiet.
Yeah.
We will give it right back to you, and we will give it right back to you with interest, and we will make sure that तुम्हारा बीज नाश कर देंगे हम. So look, not because I believe that we should be using this language, but because this is the only language these pigs, as General Hasnan describes them, understand. So sometimes even if you don't want to wrestle with the pig, you at least have to say oink oink to him to convey the message to him so that he understands what we are saying to him. So you have to sometimes speak the language of the guy to tell him where he gets off.
General Hassan, you want to quickly add to that, and then I'll go to Kushal and Ambassador Dogra.
And thank you for that. Sushant is not wrong to the extent that you have to get it out of your system also, the Indian system as such. But as I said, our dignity is far too important for us. I've been monitoring some of the tweets coming out of Pakistan today. Many of the very anti-India voices in Pakistan are also not agreeing with Asim Munir, let me tell you. So I think we are playing to the right quarters, and India's response by the MEA, that much is sufficient, nothing more than that.
Okay. Kushal, you want to weigh in? Kushal, what do you think? You've been smiling right through this exchange.
I was just smiling at the oink oink of Sushant. That's all. Listen, I don't agree with General Hasnan. You have to deal... There might be a middle way out, right? You don't have to go at their level, but you certainly don't have to ignore them at the same time. Why is there always going to be an option of either you ignore them or you have to just go completely ballistic and crazy like them? Maybe you can just say, listen, like Sushant said, right? You can create an exception for Pakistan. And there is a reason why Asim Munir said it in the United States of America, because he knows what pushes the American buttons. Are we just going to ignore the fact that Pakistanis historically have handled Washington, D.C. much better than the Indians? These are facts. We don't need to, feel irritated by these things. They know how to push the American buttons. They push the American buttons. And if that works with America, then maybe it's time we also push that button once in a while and let the Americans know, hang on, you guys get perturbed with this? Well, now we're doing it. Then let's see what the Americans do. You have to call the bluff out. In Operation Sindoor, what did we do? By upping the ante, militarily, we called their bluff out, right? We basically called the nuclear blackmail out. Now let's take it to the next level. I think it's fair. I would be more on the side of Sushant on this one.
Okay, Sushant, you want to quickly add to that? You raised your hand, then I'll go to Ambassador Dogra. Yeah, Sushant, quick one.
Point. When the Kargil war was being fought, we very often forget, our own history. When the Kargil war was being fought, initially, the entire Western world, whether it was the Europeans or the Americans, were urging restraint upon us because we were supposed to be the most sensible, the most sober kind of player, the more responsible guys. They were telling us that, okay, you guys don't up the ante with the Pakistanis and you back off, which is exactly what the Pakistanis were relying on. It was only after Mr. Vajpayee and the then government decided that they are not going to back down, they're going to up the ante. I wish they had done it a lot more than what they finally did. But nevertheless, it was only after that the shoe was on the other foot. And the pressure was then put on the Pakistanis that you violated everything and you have antagonized the Indians. So now they're hitting you back. Now you have to withdraw. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when they are doing this saber rattling, you need to tell the rest of the world that this is where these guys get off. And if you think that you are going to be able to pressure us to, because these guys are madcaps and that we need to deal with them. So, you guys, please play it soft with these guys. This is where you guys get off. We are not going to play soft with these guys. If you want nothing to happen, ask them to back off.
Ambassador Dogra, you've seen the MEA's response. They've, identified the US as a friendly third country. I wanted to know what you thought of that specifically, because the United States has not commented, reacted, or said anything about Asim Munir's reported words. And also, I wanted to know whether beyond, a diplomatic reaction, do you believe there needs to be a relook at our nuclear policy, the no first use policy? Ambassador Dogra, to you.
I'm glad you asked this question. But let me first go back very briefly to what General Hasnan said, because that relates to MEA statement. And I think he's very right in saying that we should approach the world in a dignified manner. And that is what MEA statement did today. But that does not mean, and I am second guessing him, that does not mean that we should not have our guns ready, or whatever is called in military terms, or bombs ready if necessary. Now, coming to NFU, NFU is not cast in stone in India.
Yeah.
NFU has to change with the circumstances. And India has been considering this over the years. And the shock has not been recent. Shock, according to some reports, has been 7 or 8 times in the past, because there were reports that Pakistani generals were preparing their nuclear option. And their nuclear option is not just one. Their nuclear option is manifold. Full spectrum as well as tactical. And tactical nukes, according to some reports, are banned at a junior level.
Yeah.
Which makes it very dangerous. So coming back to NFU, I think another aspect which we don't often appreciate is the message which Munir has been giving consistently.
Yes.
And that message is that unlike West, unlike Europe, which is the same religion, here I'm dealing with Hindus. Pahalgam followed. Once again, if you read the entire text that he read out, the message was the same.
Yeah.
What came out impromptu was impromptu. It was not part of the written speech. The offensive language came out as a matter of
language, yes.
As a matter of deliberation, but it was not printed on the speech that was written. So one of the interpretations could be, and here I am interpreting, that Munir did not want that printed thing to go to his American hosts, but he wanted to convey a message to the non-resident community and to India, who he knew would get it one way or the other.
To the Indian
public. Let me also add. Now, the other complicating factor, as against the European nuclear scenario, is that we are just 2 minutes away from each other. So the warning time is minuscule.
Yeah.
There is no technology developed so far which can distinguish between a nuclear armed missile and then just a bombed missile. So things are complicated, and that is why I think the government of India, I'm sure, is already actively considering the issue of NFU.
Let me get General Hasnan in on that. On NFU, on the no first use policy, where which states that India will not be the first one to use nuclear weapons, but will use them in retaliation to a nuclear attack. Do you think that requires some kind of a relook? Not just in terms of in the wake of what Asim Munir has said today, but in general, General Hasnan.
Thank you. To respond to Ambassador Dogra's very, very fine statements, I would say, yes, the fact that our Raksha Mantri has himself alluded to this a couple of times, that we need to do it. I think just alluding to it is a good message, nothing else. But also remember the fact, as you said very correctly, this is not cast in concrete. NFU or no NFU, if I am under threat, I will fire. Nothing else.
Yeah.
You remember, I mean, you see, what I want to convey through your channels here is the fact that we have been at the receiving end of this kind of rhetoric from Pakistan and the Pakistan Army leadership.
Yes.
As if India does not have a single nuke under its control. They seem to think only they have the nukes. right? We have never alluded, we have never responded, etc. And that is why I'm saying it's a very important thing to continue that.
Yeah.
Once we did it, when General Padmanabhan, if you remember in the year 2002, during Operation Parakaram, went to the media and said very clearly, if Pakistan dares to even think of this, we will launch in such a way that Pakistan will get vaporized.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the virtual words that he used. I think instead of making these memes here and there and small statements to try and send home some strategic messaging to Pakistan, a strong statement of that kind. Make sure that you send home the message about your own red lines. The whole world is talking about Pakistan's red lines. You mean to say India doesn't have red lines?
Correct.
Our red lines have to be conveyed very clearly, not through these small messages here and there and wrestling with pigs. It has just to be conveyed strategically, importantly to the leadership. That is what I'm trying to convey.
Sushant, do you think the MEA's statement today will be the end of it as far as Munir's comment is concerned? Do you think it's going to trigger something deeper from a policy perspective?
No, I think from a policy perspective, there should be something much more than just this statement. And I would imagine that the armed forces, look, a lot of stuff that the armed forces are doing, we are not even aware of. And
That's true,
as he tells us that we very often underestimate our own armed forces and their capabilities. So that's the good part. I only wish that we knew a little more so that, it would be, it inspires a lot more confidence. Otherwise, you feel that, have these guys thought of this? Have they thought of some other eventuality? But clearly, as Op Sindoor shows, they have thought it all through. So that's the good part. So I'm sure they would be working on the policy aspects of this entire thing. But please remember, Shiv, and I think General Hasnain and I are not on a different page on this one.
Yeah.
I agree that, that a more, we can do with a somewhat more forceful statement either by the CDS or by the army chief or even by the Raksha Mantri. That can happen. But I think it's very important that if we are actually talking about switching from a NFU to a first use thing, then we have to very, very significantly enhance our C4 ISR capabilities.
Correct, yeah.
I don't know if we have reached that level because, like I said, we are all ignorant about what all, has been already achieved. And Shiv, I'm sure even you don't know everything despite being an ace defense correspondent.
Yeah, true.
Which is what it should be, actually, in many ways. But the thing is, do we have that level of capabilities that we can then say that, okay, fine, we know that these guys are about to launch and we are not going to use it. Otherwise, we lose it. So the point is that we need to make very, very significant investments, both in the conventional and the non-conventional domains, which unfortunately we haven't made to the extent that we should have.
Yeah.
Because the power differential between India and Pakistan, given the size of our economies, should be at least 4 times, if not 5 times more than what it is currently.
Sushant Sareen, General Hasnain, Kushal Mehra and Ambassador Dogra, thank you very much. I'm out of time. I would have liked to take another round of questions, but this is, I suspect, a story that we're going to be visiting over and over the next few days. So thank you, gentlemen, for being with me on discussion number 1 here on India Matters. Well, remember that Asim Munir was in Trump's America making these comments, and neither Trump nor anyone else from that friendly third country has said anything, even though they lecture the world about everything under the sun, but total pin drop silence over Asim Munir threatening to bomb half the world with nuclear weapons. Well, India is fighting its own war with Trump in the backdrop, remember, but the mood has turned completely dark here in Delhi. Just 10 days ago, it would have been unthinkable for Gadkari to refer to Trump's behavior as dadagiri. And it would have been absolutely unthinkable for the very sober, very decent, very soft-spoken Rajnath Singh, our Raksha Mantri, to call Trump sabke boss, thinks he can do whatever he likes in the world. The mood has turned sour. India is now uncensored when it comes to Trump. It's ab ki baar, Trump ko maar.
Donald Trump tried dadagiri and is getting called out. The first salvo was fired by the Prime Minister himself. who countered Trump's dead economy taunt with this fiery take.
आज भारत दुनिया की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। हम बहुत तेजी से टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी बनने की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। ये स्पीड हमें कैसे मिली है? ये स्पीड हमें रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म की स्पिरिट से मिली है।
Last week, the Prime Minister had made India stand clear.
साथियों, हमारे लिए अपने किसानों का हित सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा।
Then it was the Defence Minister who said that India is सबका boss.
कुछ लोग हैं जो भारत के का विकास जितनी तेजी के साथ हो रहा है उन्हें रास नहीं आ रहा है, और बहुतों के द्वारा यह कोशिश की जा रही है कुछ ऐसा किया जाए ताकि भारत में भारतवासियों के हाथों से जो चीजें तैयार होती हैं वह दुनिया के देशों में जाएं तो उन देशों में बनने वाली चीजों से वह महंगी हो जाएं, ताकि भारत की धरती पर भारतवासियों के हाथों से बनी हुई चीजें जब महंगी हो जाएंगी तो दुनिया के दोस्त को लोग उसे नहीं खरीदेंगे। भारत जितनी तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है, मैं पूरे विश्वास के साथ कहता हूं कि भारत को अब दुनिया की कोई ताकत विश्व की एक बड़ी शक्ति बनने से रोक नहीं सकती है।
The latest to call out Trump's bullying and tariff tantrums is Union Minister Nitin Gadkari.
आज जो दादागिरी करते इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि वो आर्थिक दृष्टि से संपन्न है। दादागिरी इसलिए करते हैं कि उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर उनसे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी और रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास आएंगे तो हमें दादागिरी नहीं करनी।
Trump claims India's trade is unfair, but the facts say otherwise. India's weighted average tariff just 4.6%. The US, India's largest trading partner. India isn't caving. India is calling out the tantrums with facts, dignity, and strength. With Sejal Gupta, NDTV Bureau Report.
The mood has turned dark. India is using words through its top ministers like Sabke Boss and Dadagiri, which were unthinkable just a few days ago. There is a rapid free fall in the language being used as India hits back at Trump. But is that really enough? Dr. Anand Ranganathan, best-selling author, commentator, and my friend is with me live. Good to have you, Anand, for the first time here on India Matters. Thanks for your time and thanks for being with me. What do you think of this? Dadagiri, Sabke Boss, coming from two ministers who are very, very circumspect, always very careful about their language, but clearly an indicator of how the mood has changed, Anand. What do you think?
Indeed. Good evening, Shiv. It's an absolute pleasure to be on your show. Look, it's unclear who is driving the dump truck. Is it Asim Munir or Donald Trump? All I know is that you are driving the Ferrari. Or is it Mercedes? I don't know. No, but
I wish.
Look,
yeah.
Look, the good news is, Shiv, we don't have to handle Trump. We simply need to handle our books.
Yeah.
Trump will sort out himself naturally. Here are 5 things that I suggest as a layman that we should take right now, these steps. Number 1, we need to apply reciprocal tariffs against the US immediately. Kadi ninda by our wonderful ministers is all very well, but actions speak louder than words. Trump, the aggressor, must face his own reflection and double standards for penalizing us over purchasing Russian oil that he and his European allies still acquire. And 2 years ago, they were the ones who urged us to buy Russian oil to steady global oil prices. China, remember, swiftly enacted almost immediately within a day reciprocal tariffs when Trump did. And China gradually escalated them until Trump backed down and reduced his from 150% to 35%. We honestly need to think about this very long and hard. Number 2, we need to bargain, not with the US, but with Russia. to boost the existing 7% discount we are receiving on Russian oil. Actually, Shiv, if we secure the level of discount for the next year that Russia offered us 2 years back, 24%, we'd actually fully neutralize the damage anticipated from these 50% Trump tariffs projected to be 0.3% of GDP by Goldman Sachs. This is, I think, the most straightforward and effortless approach to combat these unfair duties. And number three, I know this is cheeky, but we should levy a 2% duty labeled as blood tariff on the EU and the US. Since they are the ones who are funding the savage conflict in Ukraine, where civilians are dying solely because EU keeps importing 3 million tons of Russian iron and nickel, 18 million tons of Russian LNG, 8 million tons of Russian oil. The US keeps importing 3.5 million tons of Russian fertilizers, 435 tons of Russian uranium, and 1.1 million tons of Russian oil processed in India. And four, we should ramp up our Russian oil imports from the present 32% to actually improve it so that we have saved, remember, $26 billion in cost were we purchasing oil from Saudi that we have purchased from Russia. So it augurs very well. And fifth, we should just lie down and wait and see what happens, what Trump does next if we apply these 4 steps.
Okay, very interesting. Anand says, don't worry so much about Trump. He will sort himself out. He's the kind of guy who says exactly the opposite thing with each passing day. We need to focus on what's happening with our actions, our books, our decisions with Russia. Levy attacks on the EU as well. I like that, Anand. Sanjay Jha is also with us. Ashok Sajjan, our former diplomat, is also with us. Sanjay, forget about Trump. He will sort himself out. We need to focus on what we are doing on the inside. Do you agree with Anand? Do you think we're doing enough? Statements have been issued. The mood has been set. Strong words have been, sent out by the External Affairs Ministry, towards the United States and Trump. What do you think, Sanjay?
Shiv, good evening. I was hearing Anand speak, and with due apologies to Anand, but a lot of it was nothing but economically irrational prescriptions. How can you even contemplate a counter reciprocal tariff or stuff, because that will only widen the trade deficit? Donald Trump can really come across and impose even higher sanctions. So I really don't think we are understanding this at all. Take a simple example. Even at current tariffs, India is going to probably take a hit at around 30 to 35 billion, if not more, value of exports. I mean, that's what is the normal consensus amongst most financial or economic analysts. And that's significant because what you're talking about, Shiv, is a massive negative repercussion on jobs. Now, please, for God's sake, and this is my kind request to both my fellow panelists, let's not reduce, you can't reduce economics to hyper-nationalism. These are numbers and numbers don't lie. Here is the truth, Shiv, that Donald Trump has bullied India. Now, the Russian oil may be a flimsy pretext because everybody knew that India was importing for a long time. That point is conceded. But look at one point, Shiv, and focus on that one data. India's trade surplus of 45 billion accounts for just 4.75% of American trade deficit. America is bullying India when it's actually a fringe contributor on an overall basis to its trade deficit compared to, say, Canada or Mexico and China.
Okay.
Why is he doing that? And I think the answer lies in one simple fact, that India has allowed itself politically, diplomatically, to be steamrolled on many things that Trump has wanted for a while.
Okay, I'll come back to the political diplomatic part in just a minute. Anand, you want to respond to that? Sanjay says you're being economically irrational and indulging in economic hyper-nationalism. Yeah, Anand.
Well, I mean, that is what Sanjay believes, but I disagree for the simple reason that, please remember, the overarching aim has to be offset the losses that we're going to make as a nation on account of 50% Trump tariffs. Now, the easiest solution is to get that money from somewhere. The second one is to actually reciprocate. And, China also had a trade surplus with America. Is Sanjay suggesting we just lie down and believe in empty rhetoric and do nothing, or give it back in the same coin? I believe we can do both the same things. Please remember, only 5% of our exports are affected by what Trump has done. So it is not going to cause a severe dent. Having said that, I know Sanjay would disagree with this, but the fact remains that by continuing to buy Russian oil and with a promise to increase it, we are going to keep our inflation in check. Whatever Donald Trump or EU allies might want, be damned. We have, as I said, saved $26 billion in the last 3 years. Now, if we were to increase the discounts that we're getting from Russia, as I said, it makes economic sense to offset whatever losses we may get from the Trump tariffs.
Sanjay, quick word, then I'll bring in Ashok Sajanar.
I think it's important, Shiv, to recognize one thing, that our contribution in global world trade is approximately around 2 to 2.25%. We have to realize that we are not capable of influencing global trends because we don't have the size for the export market. Quite simply put, Donald Trump is basically telling India that you put a lot of protectionist barriers, which the truth is we did. And while I don't agree that how American consumers are going to benefit, although the government will probably make a lot of revenue in terms of tariff, the truth remains that in the long run, these barriers, trade or monetary, has negative implications for an economy. But India has to recognize that today, by buying that cheap Russian oil, you have to look at the cost benefit. How much are you really saving now? And you probably would be saving around $2 billion or $3 billion, while the hit to your exports is around $35 billion. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Okay.
And Lindsey Graham, by the way, who is an acolyte and a big Trump voice megaphone, he's used words like, we'll tear the hell out of you and ruin your economy.
Yeah.
America has size. Like it or not, America bullies countries. They're doing that to EU. They have done that to all the countries. And we got to recognize that reality.
Ambassador Sajanar, what do you think of India's response so far? Language is one thing. What about actions? How do you read that?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shiv, for having me on your show. A fascinating discussion, and I would tend to say that, India has done what it needed to do as far as responding to what Mr. Trump has been saying. We have not, reacted emotionally. We have spoken with dignity. We have spoken with poise. We have rebutted each and every of the comments that are being made by the US administration in terms of buying oil from from Russia. Whether it is our statement, coming from the MEA on the 4th of August and the subsequent one on the 6th of August, we have not traded barbs with Mr. Trump, the language he has used, and I think that's the right thing. Now what we really need to do, in my view, is that we need to follow these words with equally strong actions. You might recall, Shiv, that in Trump 1.0, we had also identified about 28 or so products on which we had imposed tariffs, but the quantities were very small. It was just about 240 million. You would also remember, your listeners will remember that, we kept on postponing the imposition of those penalty tariffs. Okay. Right now, India's economy is a much bigger economy. We can send out a much stronger message. Like at that time, we continue to negotiate. We continue to talk. There is a team coming. I hope it does come here. We will continue to talk. We have made our point of view very clear. You would have seen this.
But just one point on that, and a correction also, that Vinay Quatra has met Lindsey Graham, Sanjay, so that the engagement is happening. Though your point is taken, I think there is a larger point. The other thing is, even though this Indian economy dead nonsense was peddled by certain politicians here, one must also admit that the reason why this is also happening, this bullying is happening, because the Indian economy could be doing a whole lot better. If it was a whole lot better, a whole lot more robust, perhaps this bullying would not happen. But Anand, coming back to you, I agree with you completely when you say, words are fine, but actions need to be taken. We have to, the onus is on us to do it. But would you say, or would you concede also that the words being used right now indicate that those actions will happen, or at least we hope that they will happen now?
It's a bit difficult to say. I think, Shiv, I just want to expand on this bit further. I think we're conflating two issues. One is the original 25% tariffs, for which I have a different view. The other is the hypocritical imposition of 25% tariffs on account of us buying Russian oil. So we have to stand up to the real bullying. For me, the first part of the tariffs, we need to take decisions that are hard economically to improve ourselves internally. That's a separate matter. But how can we just sit quiet when a country that continues to buy Russian oil, whose allies continue to buy Russian oil, and America has not imposed the similar tariffs on them, like China, like EU, and it imposes on us when 2 years ago it told us to buy Russian oil? Now that is clearly unjust. I believe words are not enough, and I go by first principles. If you're being hypocritical, if you're being unfair to us, we got to hit back.
Sanjay? Yeah.
Well, Shiv, I think Anand basically has answered the question. Why would the Indian government, which has traditionally, historically stood for human rights, why did it compromise its stance? Because America said, buy cheap Russian oil. Would you buy cheap Russian oil? I completely find that argument very disingenuous and specious. And if we did, then today those ramifications is what we are paying for. But the truth is, I think, somewhere in between. That end of day, yes, we saw a commercial opportunity to take advantage of it. I don't know how much the Indian consumer gained. If the Indian consumer gained, I think it would have been a different story. But the fact remains that today, and you hit the nail on the head, Indian economy is underperforming. At around a 4 trillion size, India should have been today working on a GDP of 8 to 9%. We are happy with 6%. There are no jobs. And my biggest worry, Shiv, is this. AI is going to take away jobs, and exports are labor intensive. If exports take a hit, you're going to see supply chains and many businesses going, laying off people. And this is already happening as we talk. So if you look at India's overall exposure to America, it's 20% on trade. So we are highly exposed to America. Let's not pretend we are not affected.
Anand, last rebut, and then I'll give the final word to Ambassador Rajana. Yes, Anand.
Slightly fact check, Sanjay. I know he will not agree to the Kames report of RBI, but we generated 47 million jobs last year. But the fact of the matter is, of course, our economy should be doing 3 or 4 times what it is doing. But then those are structural issues, reforms and everything that I'm afraid Prime Minister Modi is blessed with the kind of opposition he has. Who opposed the farm laws? Had we got the farm laws, we could have catapulted ourselves to a middle income economy. I mean, I don't want to go into those details, but it was the Congress party whose manifestos had those farm laws.
I have to give a rejoinder. Shiv, I have to give a rejoinder to that.
15 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Modi has had an absolute majority government for 10 years, and even now he has a strong majority. It's performed worse than the coalition government of Dr. Manmohan Singh that gave a higher GDP by over 100 basis points. It goes to tell you that Mr. Modi has failed in delivering to the economic promise.
Ambassador Sajanar, final word to you. 45 seconds. Final word to you. Do you think decisive action is going to be taken, or is India just waiting for this to blow over and for Trump to change his mind? Realistic assessment.
I think going by past track record, decisive action is definitely going to be taken. I think Mr. Modi has, under Mr. Modi, the economy has performed beautifully. What we were 10th or 11th largest economy in the world 10 years ago, today we are the 4th largest economy, shortly going to become the 3rd largest economy. So and we are the fastest growing major economy. So anyone who sort of, makes this point that economy has not worked is not, in tune with the facts. The second point is, the United States never told us to buy Russian oil to refine it and send it out. No, we did it because we wanted to do it. The United States opposed it strongly, but later they saw the reason for it, that if India had not bought that oil and refined it and put it into the international market, then the international prices of oil and refined products would have gone through the roof. So they were able to see the reason that we put. The last point, let me speak.
10 seconds more, I'm out of time.
Allow people to monopolize the conversation. You must allow me to speak.
Finish quickly, sir.
Is, in terms of whether people benefited or not, let's face it, when it is from the oil money is coming, it doesn't go directly to the people. They are going into the various schemes that the government, whether it is in terms of providing food after COVID,
this has been a very, very interesting conversation. We are going to wait on what that action is going to be. I think we can all agree that action needs to be taken. What that action is, we'll have to wait and see. Anand, Sanjay and Ambassador Rajana, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with me.
Thank you, Shiv.
And finally, Rahul Gandhi's new crusade against what he calls large-scale electoral fraud is an issue that cannot be ignored, viewer. Not just because the allegations are serious, but because Rahul is the leader of the opposition. But does that alone provide him with the cushion on facts and innuendo? Frankly, I'm a little tired of the political crossfire, the dharnas, the protests on this issue. But as a citizen, I'm caught between Rahul Gandhi on the one hand, who refuses to simply sign a sworn affidavit, even if you question the intent of even asking for such a document. And on the other hand, a ruling BJP that refuses to take Rahul Gandhi at face value, refuses to take him seriously, deploying barbs and innuendo rather than simply a factual rebuttal of his claims. If they think he's wrong, the BJP is happy to project Rahul as a man on a mission, not to protect democracy, but to protect himself from the accountability of defeat. So tonight, I'm stepping in to do exactly that on NDTV. Let's pick up each point made by Rahul and we'll just apply some basic factual pressure on it to see if it stands scrutiny. Now, the voter rolls are only Rahul's latest target. Remember that. His blame list has included the media, corporates, the judiciary, Twitter, Facebook, EVMs, and now the voter rolls. The irony? In 2014, when the Congress was trounced with 44 seats, they'd been in power before that for 10 years, remember. If the Election Commission was compromised, then who did the compromising, people are wondering. This is also the leader of a party that has no inner democracy to speak of, as Shashi Tharoor admitted after his own contest against Mallikarjun Kharge, but lectures India on strengthening democracy. Please don't forget, it's the only party ever to impose an emergency in this country. Now let's get to the claims one by one and examine them one by one on facts. Number one, suspicious narrow victories is what Rahul Gandhi talks about. Well, close margins are as old as Indian elections. Congress has benefited from 1 vote and 9 vote wins for decades. In 2004, did you know, over 40 MPs, many from the Congress, won with margins under 10,000? Even P. Chidambaram scraped through with just over 3,300 votes in 2009. If narrow wins equals fraud, the Congress is the last party that can point any fingers. Claim number 2, phased polling is suspicious. Well, here's the fact check. India's first general election under Nehru had 68 phases over 4 months. Congress's own 2004 win happened in 7 phases. Phasing is about logistics, security, festivals, not political conspiracy, no matter what anyone says. Claim number 3 by Rahul Gandhi, exit polls don't match the results. Well, exit polls are wrong everywhere, every time. In 2004, they gave the NDA under Atal Bihari Vajpayee 280 plus seats. The NDA got 189 and was bundled out of power. In 2015, Delhi, they gave AAP 45 seats. AAP got 67. It's a pollster problem, not election commission rigging as is being alleged. Number 4, new voters prove rigging. Voter numbers have been rising steadily with India's population from 67.15 crore in 2004 to 96.8 crore in 2024. Maharashtra's 4.4% rise this time is lower than under the UPA in 2004. I bet you didn't know that. Let's come to claim number 5, more voters than population. Rahul Gandhi is stuck on the 2011 census while ignoring natural growth and migration. Today's rolls match the current demographics. Claim number 6, late surge after 5 p.m. in elections. EC data shows the opposite, that the turnout actually drops or dropped after 5 p.m. Claim number 7, the Election Commission hides digital rolls. Well, rolls are given to all parties, including the Congress party, in searchable PDF form. Every Congress booth agent signed Form 17C without protest. So why is it coming out now? Is the idea that it took 6 months to put all this information together, does that really stand up against a factual rebuttal? Number 8, CCTV access is blocked, says Rahul Gandhi. Well, the law the Congress itself passed limits CCTV access to protect voter privacy in sensitive areas. No Congress candidate even applied for access before this. Number 9, he says the Karnataka rolls are rigged by the BJP. He's put out data. In 2024, Karnataka was under a Congress government. They had won in 2023. Their roles, their responsibility. The BJP's wins came in segments Rahul never even mentioned. The real anomalies were in Congress strongholds like Shivaji Nagar and Chamrajpet, stuffed with duplicates. And finally, number 10, claim number 10, the inconvenient truth. Biggest irregularities are in Congress bastions, from Malegaon's 43.5% voter list spike to Kerala's 6.25 lakh bogus entries. Rahul's own Wayanad has 92,087 doubtful voters. When Bihar cleaned its rolls, 65.2 lakh bogus names vanished. Proof that special intensive revision SIR actually works. Now, critics of Rahul Gandhi will say this explains why Rahul opposes it everywhere else. So as a citizen, I'm still wondering and I'm still asking, does this mean an investigation should not happen? Absolutely not. It must happen. I believe an investigation must happen. I don't buy the technical or rule-based jugglery of the Election Commission demanding sworn affidavits from the leader of the opposition. But I equally wonder why, if Rahul Gandhi is going the distance and isn't afraid to stand in front of the data he has brandished in front of the country, why is it such a big deal signing a document and making this a formal mission on paper as the EC is demanding? Why not put them in a corner and say, sure, I've got nothing to hide and I can defend this data? Why give the Election Commission and BJP a reason to point fingers and say, look, Rahul is shooting and scooting? Why make a minor technical demand, even if politically colored, a prestige issue? Unless this is about innuendo and not really about facts. If that's the case, then let us all as citizens watch as our electoral system is hauled through the mud with nobody really caring if it is genuinely scrutinized. Thanks very much for watching. Brings us to a close for this episode of India Matters. The Last Word with Maria comes up next.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में, फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो। प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Find Finer Finesta.
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You need everything in place, the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
You know, that's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much you give, how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special skill. I don't know any scale or anything else. It's just that I enjoy that process a lot. Give me an evening to just go for a film party or something, I'll skip it. But you give me like a struggling musician to go who has a great tune, some new guys, chill all night with them, I can do that. I can just sit there, make music and stuff like that. We just did that recently. Fahim came down. He just surprised us, and we met in my Bandra office, and Han was there, Aneet was there, and he made me hear his other songs and stuff like that. But it was it's so much fun, because I just think making music, I mean, film, you still get to see something. I think music is so amazing. I mean, you just
don't need to see anything.
It's in the air, and suddenly it just comes together, and it's just, you can just feel it. And something you hear makes you feel something. It's just magical.
Fenesta windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Fenesta नहीं है, तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine, finer Fenesta.
ऐ मेरे हम सफर एक जरा इंतजार, सुन सदाएं दे रही है मंजिल प्यार की. जय जवान, जय हिंद.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Fenesta windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Fenesta नहीं है, तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine, finer Fenesta.
Shelters. Is this really a practical solution to a problem which is a menace? Our top story, India bloc MPs, including Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge, took out a protest march today from the Parliament to the Election Commission against the revision of electoral rolls in Bihar and alleged vote chori, but was stopped midway by the police and detained amidst high drama. Police, in fact, put up barricades on the way to prevent the MPs from marching forward. And as the MPs were stopped, many of them sat on the road and raised slogans, while some women MPs, in fact, climbed the barricading and raised slogans against the Election Commission. They were later whisked away by the police. Buses lined up along the road and taken to the Parliament Street police station in the capital. All the MPs were later released. Here's what happened today, and then I bring in the reporters to get details on of an important dinner meet which is happening even as we speak.
From Sansad to the streets. War over voter list. Battle lines drawn and hardened. After days of blistering attack on the Election Commission over alleged irregularities in the voter list, the opposition took the fight to the streets. MPs from India bloc assembled outside the Parliament. to march to the Election Commission office just a kilometer away. Election Commission had given time to opposition MPs to meet at noon. They had called 30 MPs, but all the India Bloc MPs started the march. What unfolded over the next couple of hours was full-blown drama and war on the capital streets. The MPs were stopped by the Delhi police. They sat on a dharma. They were pushed and shoved around and bundled into buses by the cops. Sloganeering, attacks on the Election Commission and the government followed. The drama peaked as Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav was seen jumping the barricades. As the heat rose, a couple of MPs even fainted. The MPs were taken to the Parliament Street and then later let off.
देखिए हिंदुस्तान की डेमोक्रेसी की हालत देखिए 300 एमपीस इलेक्शन कमीशन से मिलना चाहते हैं और कहते हैं कि हम डेलीगेशन लेके आएंगे, हम आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट देना चाहते हैं। इलेक्शन कमीशन कहता है नहीं, 300 एमपीस नहीं आ सकते। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की लड़ाई है। वन मैन वन वोट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का फाउंडेशन है। वन मैन वन वोट के बिना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का कोई मतलब नहीं है।
कलेक्टर और डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिशियल्स वही इलेक्शन कमीशन होते हैं, वही चलाते हैं। तो हर एक राज्य में उनके राज्य के जो इलेक्टोरल ऑफिसर्स हैं वो सुधार अगर करते हैं और ईमानदारी से अच्छी इलेक्शन लिस्ट बनती है, वोटर लिस्ट बनती है, वो हम सबका सामूहिक प्रयास होना चाहिए। तो राहुल गांधी जी देश को जवाब दें, पार्लियामेंट में महत्व का काम होने नहीं दे रहे हैं।
The government attacked the Congress for creating anarchy in the capital and attacking institutions.
कांग्रेस वाले ये इंडी गठबंधन को सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भरोसा नहीं है और कहते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट टिप्पणी नहीं कर सकते इनके ऊपर में। इलेक्शन कमीशन में भरोसा नहीं है, इलेक्शन कमीशन को अटैक करते हैं, पार्लियामेंट को विश्वास नहीं करते हैं। किसके इशारे में और क्यों भारत की छवि को नुकसान कराने के लिए बार बार हर दिन ये नाटक क्यों करते हैं?
The Election Commission has been asking Rahul Gandhi for a sworn affidavit on his voter theft charge or else apologize. The Congress has been scoffing at the demand. With both sides sticking to their guns, the showdown is unlikely to end anytime soon. NDTV Bureau Report.
So what happens next? Will the opposition continue to raise this issue, or does it end with this protest march in which, perhaps they also did not meet the Election Commission to submit their former application? Let me bring in Prashant, who's joining us from outside the Taj Hotel. That's where Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief, is holding a dinner meet for all the India Bloc MPs. They are there to strategize as to what will be happening next in this entire alleged poll fraud issue. What is the plan to be, Prashant? What next in this India Bloc strategy? Because what is visible, Prashant, after a long time, the entire India Bloc seems to be united on an issue to take on the government and the Election Commission.
Well, Maria, I'm sorry to say I can't hear you properly, but you see, I am at Hotel Taj, where Mallikarjun Kharge has organized a dinner meeting for all the India Bloc MPs. This is quite a ritual. In every session we see Mallikarjun Kharge normally throw such parties, but it has weekends in view of the afternoon. India Bloc staged a huge, protest march from Parliament House to the election, but they were not allowed to reach Election Commission because all the MPs wanted to go to Election Commission, which was not allowed by the police. Here, most of the, in fact, all the parties of India Bloc have, participated in this dinner meeting. Just back, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi have left this meeting. Mallikarjun Kharge is still inside, and all the major leaders of all the India bloc parties have attended this dinner meeting, except Aam Aadmi Party, which did not attend the meeting hosted by Rahul Gandhi a couple of days back. So Aam Aadmi Party has declared that it is not part of the India Alliance anymore. So it is not attending the meeting today also. As you can see, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi is leaving the dinner meeting. As you could see, she's sitting in a car now and she is going to leave from the hotel. So most of the India bloc parties and most of the leaders have attended the meetings. All the India bloc parties, in fact, attended this meeting. It's a ritual meeting, as I told you, but this has assumed significance in view of the fact that India bloc is trying to strategize itself on this SIR issue.
Prashant, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins me here in the studio. Adil Singh Bopara is the spokesperson of the Congress, O.P. Rawat, former CEC, and Sanjay Kumar, professor of CSDS. O.P. Rawat, tomorrow is a crucial hearing. Today, the India bloc has set the tone and tenor of what should we be, what is going to be their plan of action. But, O.P. Rawat, do you not think that the Election Commission is also facing that question of appearing to be a body which is not functioning in a transparent manner? While we question about, the opposition, can they, is this the most important issue on their mind? The Election Commission also cannot get away by talking about, Article 324, instead of addressing concerns of who this list of deleted voters are. So in the Supreme Court, they have said that they do not have to provide the list of the deleted voters.
Maria, I think Election Commission should be able to provide that because they have access to that data. The number of deleted voters of different categories, they should be providing that. And another thing is, seeing all this chaos going around, I think Election Commission should relent a little and inquire the allegations and put all the findings in public domain immediately to restore people's faith in the constitutional authority that is Election Commission.
So what should the Election Commission do? Right now, they're not meeting the political parties, although what we were told is that the Election Commission had asked for a list of 30 MPs or 30 leaders who will be going to meet them. Of course, the entire 300 who merged cannot get an audience with the Election Commission. But do you think that the poll body right now is facing a question in which they are not appearing to be free and fair when the opposition raises the questions of irregularities?
Actually, whenever a large number of political representatives wanted to meet the Election Commission, Election Commission shifted the venue from the commission room to a room which can accommodate that many numbers so that they all feel recognized that they got a patient hearing by the Election Commission. So I think for just technicalities of numbers, etc., Election Commission should not be holding back. They should allow all 300 MPs to come and sit and hear them.
Okay. So the Election Commission cannot really take shield of 324, which is an article, the details of which I'll ask the producer to put that on our television screens, because they have invoked that, in which any challenge which is brought towards the Election Commission, they can say that, they do not have, they need not do, because they have that shield of Article 324. Having said that, Sanjay Kumar, this is an unusual unity that we are seeing in opposition, from Sharad Pawar to Akhilesh Yadav. Of course, Bihar is one state which is witnessing SIR, but all of them seem to be united on this issue. What they say is some kind of vote chori.
No, right. You have correctly put, Maria, that
as you see, right now a dinner is taking place. During the day, we have seen all the parties marching on the street, which was an unusual scene, because I have not witnessed such protest by leaders of large number of political parties, and these are not small leaders of political parties. These are the top brass of large number of political parties. Jumping the barricades, etc. This was not a normal protest march as we have witnessed in the recent past. So clearly, it has given at least an issue on which the entire opposition is united, the entire India alliance is united, minus the Aam Aadmi Party, as your correspondent mentioned, that Aam Aadmi Party leaders are not attending this meeting.
All right. So Rahul Gandhi here, Adil Singh Boparai, has also shifted the burden of proof to the Election Commission. But the Election Commission says that the leader of opposition must give his own claims in an oath. Rahul and others, if they are confident of it, then what is stopping them from giving an oath, declaration, give an affidavit, and you'll be proven right if you're confident about your facts?
Maria, this is not about Mr. Gandhi. This is not even about the Congress. This is about the sanctity and the purity of the electoral system in our country. We take immense pride in calling ourselves the largest democracy of the world. But there are very, very serious allegations of voter rigging. Now, I just want to point out two illustrative evidence which has been brought out by the Congress party and our research team, and which was also stated by Mr. Gandhi during the course of his press conference. Now, in Mahadevpura, central Bangalore, you'll be surprised that there are 30,000 voters who are registered at house number 0, house number 00, house number 000. Now, it baffles me, and I put this to your viewers. My dear fellow citizens, why is the Election Commission of India shying away from responding to a specific allegation born from the ECI record, which shows that 30,000 voters are registered at house number 0, 00 and 000? Evidence number one. Evidence number two, from your home state. The draft list which has been publicized by the Election Commission of India has 2,92,048 voters who are registered with house number 0. Can there be any explanation for this? And what is the opposition demanding, Maria? We are demanding that please give us the data in a digital and a readable format. We will carry out an analysis. Let the media carry out an analysis, constituency by constituency, because we are reasonably certain that the voter lists were manipulated in the 2024 general elections. Let the ECI come out and rebut with empirical evidence. We are giving you data. We are giving you their data. And now, responding to your specific query, I find this absurd, Maria. The EC wants us to give an affidavit for their data. We are saying this based on their data. They want us to give an affidavit to corroborate their data. This is bizarre.
Okay.
Why are they running away from accountability?
So Rahul Gandhi will not give an affidavit, and whatever facts that have been put out, according to Rahul Gandhi, are the facts of the matter. And the BJP should be equally concerned if there is some kind of fraudulent which is happening, because that also means that you may be also losing elections because of some kind of fraudulent. And instead of defending Election Commission, you should also seek cleanup.
Well, Maria, first of all, we are not here defending or opposing any constitutional body. We are defending the Indian voter because we worked on the ground in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and the trust of the Indian voter was on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and is on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. If the Congress party believes that 2024 Lok Sabha elections is rigged, Rahul Gandhi should immediately resign as a member of parliament. Priyanka Vadra should immediately resign as the member of parliament. Dimple Yadav should immediately resign as the member of parliament, and all those who are calling it a rigged election should immediately resign, and they should delete their tweet of saying victory in 2024 after getting 90 seats. My issue is not with their concerns. Everybody has a right to take concerns. But when have they spoken truth? They went forward with 6 months. They said that EVM can be hacked. When it went to the Supreme Court of India, when the Election Commission asked each political party to hack the EVM, not a single political party from the opposition came. Then they took the issue in another season of Maharashtra voter list. When it went to the Bombay High Court, it was dismissed. So every time when the ball is in Rahul Gandhi's court, because he's repeatedly failed to get the trust of the people of India, there have been historical booth looters. The first booth was looted by the Congress party in post-independent India. They will try to shift the blame to any constitutional body. I will expose 4 fake news. Fake news number 1, Mahadevpura, they said that Bharatiya Janata Party was only leading in Mahadevpura. That is what Rahul Gandhi said in the press conference. This is the result of Bangalore Central. We were leading in 4 constituencies. Fake news number 1 by Rahul Gandhi. Fake news. If Rahul's logic is that repeated voter lists, repeated list of an individual in a constituency is equal to rigging election, this is Chamrajpet, where Aisha Banu's name has been found at 4 different voter rolls. This has been won by the Congress party. Has the Congress candidate from Shivaji Nagar resigned, from Chamrajpet resigned. This is Shivaji Nagar. Name of Ramnatullah is in 3 respected places. Has the constituent of Shivaji Nagar and the Congress party candidate from Shivaji Nagar resigned? Point number, just allow me to complete. Thirdly, another fake news. This is not what I am saying. Their own minister Rajana raised this in Karnataka, that what were you doing when 120 days before the phase 1, each role was provided to your booth level agents, not a single complaint happened. So they were sleeping till now. 1 year after Lok Sabha elections, they were sleeping. They were claiming they have won 90 seats. Rahul claimed to be the leader of opposition on that very election, and now suddenly they have realized that it's a rigged election. So please, my dear friend, when is Rahul Gandhi resigning? How can you not resign in a rigged election?
Adil, you know, while you know, to say that there's a fraud on the entire electoral process is a huge concern. Here is the opposition which is united on it. The leader of opposition has also provided some data. It's a subject of investigation. Could this have been approached differently?
Maria, let's not beat about the bush. If the BJP has certain reservations, they should also seek readable digital data from the Election Commission of India and come out with their findings. I am giving you 2 specific instances. And let the ECI respond, and let my friend Pradeep respond.
I responded to you.
How can 30,000
You're lying on that also.
At house number 0?
The Hindi channel of NDTV did an investigation on your claim.
Why are you interrupting me? Don't show your interest.
Allow him to. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can 30,000 voters be registered at house number 0? And please understand, when the ECII gives us hard data in physical format, for one segment alone, it goes up to 7 feet. It is virtually impossible to physically research and examine for all 543 constituencies. Hence, our demand for digital readable data. What is the problem? Why is the BJP and their ally, the Election Commission of India, so reluctant and hesitant to give this data? They have changed the rules as far as electoral evidence and videography is concerned. Please understand, Maria, and I say this for the future of this country. I say this for the future of the edifice of democracy in this country. How can the ECII and the BJP justify, now in the case of Bihar, 290,000 voters at house number 0? Can there be an explanation for this? I've been asking this from BJP spokesperson since yesterday. Please tell me, how can 2 lakh voters be registered at house number 0? And where is this house number 0? Let's talk specifically. Stop blaming Pandit Nehru. Stop blaming Rajiv Gandhi ji. Stop blaming ex-political leader, Y political leader. Let's talk facts.
Okay.
The issue with the Congress spokesperson is,
come out with facts.
My dear friend from the Congress party thinks that only Rahul Gandhi speaks facts and the entire country thinks that Rahul Gandhi speaks fiction. No, I did not interrupt you, Adil. Now do not interrupt me. Adil, you are now repeating yourself.
Both of you have called each other friend.
Yes.
So let's extend that courtesy.
To my dear friend, yes. So my dear friend from the Congress party feels Rahul Gandhi speaks facts but the entire country knows that Rahul Gandhi speaks fiction. This is why he is sitting in opposition consecutively. Rahul Gandhi and his allies of urban Naxal and anarchists should answer a simple question. If they have issue in Bihar, why not a single booth level agent till date has complained to the officials of Election Commission? If Rahul Gandhi and his anarchist friends should answer, why have Rahul Gandhi and the 30 MPs not gone to the Election Commission when they had seek time? What would have been the difference between 300 MPs going and 30 MPs going if the demands were same? Rahul Gandhi and his anarchist friends should answer, why did they not go to the Election Commission Patna office when Rahul had visited Bihar? Rahul Gandhi and his anarchist friends should answer that if they are so confident about their data, why cannot they give it in writing? Rahul Gandhi and his anarchist friends should answer, when have their all opinion and facts come out to be true in the court of law? Hindenburg, fake news. Then go forward, China taking Indian land, fake news. EVM hacked, fake news. When has Rahul given a true news? Can you please tell me a single instance in the last 10 years when any court has given an order on an observation in favor of Rahul Gandhi's quote-unquote facts? Then I would believe in Rahul Gandhi. A man who has been a habitual liar, how can you take that man on a face value? This is why a habitual liar should give it in writing. And if it is to do with the constitution, my dear friend, then all of you who won on the same premise should resign. Why are you not resigning? How can it be possible that some parts of 2024 is rigged, but Rai Bareli is not rigged? How is it possible that Wayanad is not rigged? And you won 4 or 5 consecutive Lok Sabha elections post-independent India.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
were they rigged because you
Okay.
believe that pro-incumbency cannot happen?
Okay, Adil, respond quickly and then I move into others.
15 seconds.
Go to others.
You know, calling us names, abusing
No,
us.
answer my
calling-
specifics. You are beating around the bush like you told me. Answer my specifics. If you believe 2024 is rigged, why are you not resigning from Rai Bareli and Wayanad?
Let me respond.
No, you are not. You are going around the bush, my dear friend.
Let's not speak over each other.
No,
Give
you
me
are
15
also. You are going around the bush.
Okay, now.
Now, are you done? Are you done?
No, I'm not. I will
Okay,
continue
no,
to
one
speak
moment.
till I get facts from you.
Pradeep. Okay, Adil, respond. Yes.
15 seconds. Calling us names, calling us anarchists, calling us all sorts of abuses will not solve the problem. This is a very old playbook of the fascists that they start questioning people's patriotism to evade accountability. It's a very, very old playbook. This is not something new. Unfortunately,
an anarchist my dear anarchist friends, why are you not resigning from the 2024 Lok Sabha election? He also called me names. He called us fascists. So anarchists should answer, why are they not resigning from the 2024 Lok Sabha election?
Okay, yeah.
Maria, I have a very simple point, and
Yes,
Mr. Rawat, the very respected ex-Chief Election Commissioner, also alluded to it. You can't get away from accountability by abusing us. We have shown you voter IDs on television.
All of them
We've
were
shown
fake.
you empirical
All of them were
evidence
fake, Maria.
on the
Your
screen.
sister challenged an
There are
investigation.
houses.
Arey bhaiya,
There are
all
houses.
fake.
One moment, yes.
There are voters who have voted in the elections who are registered at house number 0. This is not a mere clerical error. 30,000 voters cannot be a clerical error.
Yes, so it's a subject of
calling us
investigation.
names is not the answer to the problem. The problem is ECII has become a puppet of the BJP.
Yes, like when
Elections
Naveen
are
Chawla was the
rigged in
election
this
commissioner
country.
who was the close aide of
Elections
Sonia
are being
Gandhi and
rigged in
MS
this
Gill
country.
who resigned
And we
as the
have to
election commissioner
preserve
to
the
become a minister in the
Constitution.
Congress party. Stop giving sermons and answer specifics if 2024 is rigged. Why is Rahul not resigning? No, he asked me specifics. I answered.
Pradeep,
the question.
you're not letting him speak.
Mature up, my friend. Please mature
No,
up.
you need to
respond
grow
the
up. You need to
Okay,
grow up and
nobody
not
is
act like a troll.
nobody is telling the other person to grow up. All of you are grown-up men. So please, let's have Adil and Pradeep. And Adil, you will get your 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
Maria, I'm again reiterating, there's been a systematic destruction of the independence of the Election Commission of India. Till 2023, you had a neutral person in the form of the Chief Justice of India who was part of the selection committee.
Allow me to.
The BJP today has recomposed that committee and brought in the Home Minister. So virtually it is the government's rubber stamp nominee who succeeds. This is number one. Number two, you had Rule 93(2) of the election rules of 1961, which allowed for handing over on a payment of requisite fee the electoral CCTV footages. That rule has been changed. And finally, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has come out with empirical data. Why doesn't the ECII come out and say, sorry, what Mr. Gandhi is saying about house numbers was incorrect?
Since you are saying that he has come out with empirical data, of course, this is essentially affirming a pattern of what Mr. Gandhi has been saying over the last several months now. But because it's a subject of investigation, we can't really make people of India not have faith in the electoral process. So there has to be a great degree of caution. Also from your side, Pradeep here.
I have a simple point, Maria. If they have just 10 seconds, I will not take 30 seconds and not speak fact.
Okay.
Fact number one, for 50 years when the Congress party was in power, there was not a single panel. Sonia Gandhi used to decide who will be the election commissioner. Naveen Chawla, a tainted man, became an election commissioner. T.N. Seshan resigned to fight on the Congress ticket, and you had Mr. M.S. Gill becoming a sports minister in the Congress government who was an election commissioner. So the Congress party should not give us sermons who have imposed emergency. The real voter fraud happened for the first time in Indira Gandhi's time. That is hard fact. Now let me come to it. If Congress has such great evidences, why is it not giving those evidences to Election Commission in writing? Because Rahul has historically lied, Maria. I challenge you also, Maria, on this show. Please tell me when whatever Rahul has claimed and you all have run for hours and hours has come out to be true in the Supreme Court. Okay. One instance, Hindenburg, fake news. China taking Indian land, fake news. Maharashtra voter list, fake news. EVM, fake news. When has the man been true?
So here is the BJP OP Rawat saying that there is some kind of political conspiracy. And investigations cannot happen on the basis of political conspiracy. But he is a senior leader and he is not alone here. There are several leaders in opposition who are of the opinion that there is much more than what meets the eye. It is a subject of investigation. What should be done then? What should the Election Commission do?
I feel to restore faith of people in the whole election process and election commission. Election commission should take a call immediately to investigate all the allegations and bring all the findings in public domain so that the people are satisfied what is right and what is wrong. Instead of allowing all this political skullduggery, I think they should come up with this.
The other argument which has been put forth by the ruling government here, and perhaps you'll be able to respond to that as well, Mr. Rawat, that if this entire revision exercise which is happening in Bihar is about ensuring the cleanup in the electoral process, so that there are a lot of dead, as the list of 65 lakh who have been deleted includes a significant number of dead, those who have died, and a huge percentage also of those who have moved out of Bihar, then what Rahul Gandhi has put out is essentially proving that cause, that it's good to have that kind of special intensive revision.
Maria, special intensive revision is not required for cleaning or purifying the electoral rolls.
Okay.
It is a continuous process and Election Commission is fully empowered to do it day in and day out. Having a special intensive revision has put almost 3 crore voters in a queue to get one of the 11 documents. That is the panic, because elections are around the corner, and if their names are deleted because they are not able to submit this document, then how can they vote and how can they get redressal of their grievance through appeal? There is no time. Therefore, Election Commission should ensure that no such fear, psychosis grips the common voter, and general public has faith restored in Election Commission and the whole election process.
Sanjay Kumar, as someone who watches politics and politicians and is involved in surveys as well, how much do you think protests of this nature impact the voter sentiment?
Certainly it is impacting. And why do I say that? We have been asking this question about trust in Election Commission. And I must say that trust in Election Commission has been very high, along with the army and few other institutions. Army and Election Commission has been very, very highly trusted. But over the years, we have seen people's trust in Election Commission going down. I'm not saying that it has gone down drastically, but it has been going down slowly and gradually. All these protests will further bring down the people's trust in Election Commission. So it's not that these peoples are disconnected with the protest. They are watching the protest and they're also trying to figure out. I'm not saying that they will be able to figure out whether election commission is right or wrong, but at least they feel that there's something fishy and trust in election commission is going down day by day.
So if the trust in election commission is going down, there is an important hearing which is going to take place tomorrow, Sanjay Kumar, and a lot rests on that in terms of what next in this special intensive revision which is happening, because a significant percentage, over 50%, have also submitted their documents of proof, which is largely Aadhaar and the voter ID card. So do you get a sense that what the Supreme Court had said in its last hearing, when it was an interim order, which was essentially about suggesting election commission that they should allow Aadhaar and voter ID card to be seen as proof of residence? What now in this case then?
See, if you look at the percentage of people having Aadhaar, it's roughly in the range of 90-95%.
Yeah.
If you look at the voter identity card, this is also in the range of 80-85. All other documents, most of the documents on an average would be roughly in the range of 30-40%. So I think what Supreme Court is suggesting, that you should allow Aadhaar and voter ID card to be treated as one of the documents as proof of residence. I think Election Commission should come forward and try and come to terms that, okay, we would be willing to accept or expand the list and include Aadhaar card as one of the list. Second, I think there is no harm meeting all the 300 MPs. I don't think there is a lack of space in Delhi that Election Commission can't meet 300 people. Limit them. If there is noisy scenes, etc., it will bring down the image of the opposition leader, not of the election commission, but trying to evade that, no, we will meet only 30. I think what's that number? What is the number? 30 number is a magic. Okay, meet them, let them air their own grievances, hear them out. I think something more needs to be done by election commission. They should come forward rather than always citing rule 1, rule 2, rule 3.
Yes. Don't take a shield of these articles. That is the message that is coming in from the panel today. Sanjay Kumar, O.P. Rawat, Pradeep Bhandari and Adil Singh Bopara. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us on this top debate. Shifting focus now, the Supreme Court has said that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR must be shifted away from residential localities, and any organization that blocks this exercise will face the strictest action. The top court's significant order comes amidst a rise in cases of dog bites in Delhi, leading to rabies deaths. NDTV, remember, has been running a campaign about the stray dog menace on the streets that has left children and elderly persons injured and in some cases even dead. Following the Supreme Court's order, the Delhi government has said that it will ensure its timely implementation. But is the removal of 10 lakh dogs from the Delhi streets really practical? That's what I ask on the show tonight. But first up, here's what happened today.
It started with a campaign. NDTV reporting every attack, every victim's ordeal, asking questions, seeking a fix to the stray dogs menace in the country. Now the Supreme Court has spoken, calling the stray dog menace a serious public safety concern. The apex court noted the need to round up stray dogs and directed the Municipal Corporation of Delhi to pick up the stray dogs and relocate them to other locality. The Supreme Court said that if any organization intervenes, they will face action. The court made it clear that it will hear government's side on this and that application by dog lovers will not be entertained.
Very thankful to NDTV to start this campaign regarding the stray dogs and see the result is come out. Today I want to appreciate the Supreme Court order regarding the stray dogs. That is, all the stray dogs are shifted to the dog shelters within 8 weeks by the MCD. And it is a very big and the great news for all of us.
Between January and June this year, 49 rabies cases, 35,198 animal bite incidents reported in Delhi. From finding enough shelter place to ensuring proper care, the challenge ahead is immense. But the court has made it clear, delays will not be tolerated. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi has now formed a special committee to carry out the court's directive, balancing humane treatment with immediate removal from the streets.
NDTV को भी बधाई देना चाहता हूँ, आपने जनता से जुड़ा हुआ मुद्दा उठाया है और ये जो आपका अभियान है इस विषय को सभी लोगों ने संज्ञान लिया था और आज कोर्ट का जो निर्णय है वो निर्णय मेरा ये मानना है कि दिल्ली सरकार जिस दिशा में आगे बढ़ रही थी पिछले कुछ समय से मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में, उसी दिशा में हमारे को और सरल करने का काम सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये आदेश करेगा.
But not everyone is on board.
और फ्राइडे को ही तय हुआ था एक 14 पॉइंट प्रोग्राम चल जाएगा और उसमें 2 साल के अंदर अंदर सबको राहत मिलती. लेकिन अब ये जजमेंट आ गया. अब ये जजमेंट मुझे नहीं मालूम कि लीगल भी है कि नहीं, बस एक गुस्से में देने वाला, आप आओ बैठो रोब जमाओ जजमेंट दे दो और कहो कि कोई नहीं बोलेगा, कोई मुझे सुनना नहीं है.
With the deadline now in place, the stray dog crisis is finally seeing concrete orders from the top. NDTV will keep tracking whether this ruling stays on paper or clear the streets. With Nupur Dogra, Aarti Krishnan, Malvika Murali, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Joining us, she's an animal activist, rights activist. Dr. Tanmay Mahapatra is a public health expert. Sadhana, many are seeing this. Is this, displacement of dogs really a solution, and can that be achieved given the scale at which they are there everywhere?
Thank you for inviting me for the panel, Maria. I feel that the overall judgment from the Honorable Supreme Court is quite an impractical to the problem that we have in hand. When we are talking about dog attacks, we are already missing out the point that our population has increased. The population density in most of the cities is really high, and that is actually creating a lot of conflicts for animals. That is one thing. And the second thing is, if the emphasis is largely on the rabies death, then it means that the city and the municipality has failed in doing the vaccinations correctly. That is, every year anti-rabies vaccination has to happen for the 70% of the dog population that is there in the city. If such an activity is not being conducted, that is when you will start seeing so much of increase in rabies death. So ideally, our focus has to be on assessing what is the implementation rate of animal birth control program as well as animal anti-rabies vaccination program with Delhi, rather than thinking that we have a conflict and we will eliminate one of the species, corner them, put them somewhere without understanding the scientific and ecological impact of such a decision.
Dr. Tanmay, in several cities, in various parts of the world, we do not have this kind of a menace. How have they managed? Have they done something similar, as the Supreme Court has ordered that relocate all 10 lakh dogs across Delhi NCR?
So, first of all, when the chief judiciary of a country takes such a decision, there must be some logic that we need to understand. Implementational gaps are everywhere. Even after this particular decision, implementation gaps will be there. To answer your question, there are certain operational issues which ultimately any implication of a policy gets kind of failed by. So things related to the ineffective animal birth control, no accurate monitoring through data, as well as inadequate infrastructure are the issues which ultimately end up in not managing the situation as other countries have managed. In countries where we don't have this kind of thing, we must be sure about the fact that the vaccination, all the other aspects related to the veterinary availability for infected dogs being treated, for things related to the adequate manpower and the community awareness regarding all these. Now, in absence of that, when we find out suddenly a situation when this country having about 62 million stray dogs per the pet homelessness index, as well as WHO data, World Health Organization data showing that in India, 92 to 97% of rabies deaths, human rabies deaths are being caused by dog bites, and among them 60% from stray dogs. It's a public health concern. We have to think about it. And our country is accounting for 36% of global rabies deaths. So there is a requirement of something. Let's think that this is the start of the process.
Yes, this is an emergency because India accounts for 36% of these deaths because, dog bites actually have an extremely high fatality rate and claim nearly 60,000 lives every year. And that is why, Sadhana, that is the only way out of this.
Not really, Maria. First of all, 36% is something that is being quoted for almost 10 years. But even today, if you go into Gram Panchayat level, they don't have records of literally anything. They are not even recording any dog bites. So I understand that there is a serious public health concern that is going on. But what is more important is to understand that if a simple program like ABC and ARV could not be implemented in India for 20 years, what are the chances that they are going to implement this dog shelter in an appropriate manner? That is one question. And the second question is, already there is no space in the city. Let us take the example of Bangalore, wherein we have been asking for additional ABC centers for almost 5 years. And the politicians and the government, they keep coming back by saying there is no land available. So if there is no land available to handle just 10,000 dogs in a month for sterilization in a circulation, then how is it that you are going to house 3 lakh dogs in Bangalore, 10 lakh dogs in Delhi? And at the same time, it is also very hypocritical to say that we are going to safeguard the urban population from the dog bites and we are going to dump all the dogs in the outskirts of the city, which is nothing but village and suburbs. Right. Ultimately, what we are telling is you cannot get rid of any species and then think you're safe, because being safe is something very debatable in our day.
No, but then if they are a public, public life hazard, there is a concern of this nature, then it has to be addressed. So that, Dr. Tanmay, you get the last word here. 30 seconds. This is the way forward is very clear. But how, implementation challenges aside, do you think this will ensure that there is some kind of containment to this problem? Even if, of course, perhaps in months and years we learn how to tackle with it, but then at the moment this is the only way out.
Maria, I just wanted to add
one moment, ma'am. Let Tanmay finish, please. Dr. Tanmay.
So basically, it's definitely a containment at this point of time, but it's not time to debate. It's the time to solidarity. We need to actually ensure that all the non-government organizations and other civic bodies who work for the best of the animals, they need to join hands with the civil societies and the judiciary to ensure that putting them into some shelter is not the end of the solution. What next going to happen with them? What is the veterinary support for ensuring that those dogs in those shelters are kept with actual health, and ultimately going forward, how we take this towards the proper community awareness instead of getting into protest and other things. This is not putting them in the shelter is not the end of the solution. It's actually the start. I mentioned this before also. There is a requirement of having an overall plan, and definitely putting it from urban to rural is not at all something as a solution, and I don't think that is in the plan. So ultimately, I think it's the time to join hands to make it a complete comprehensive solution with proper implementation, including workforce, including infrastructure, including awareness, as well as ensuring animal welfare.
So Sadhana, you wanted 10 seconds quickly, please.
Maria, all I wanted to tell was containment is the right way to go, but then that is by simplifying ABC and making sure that we are able to sterilize more animals rather than putting them in a place where it's going to be territorial and contagious.
All right, Sadhana and Dr. Tanmay, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. We are slipping into a short break. Coming up would be some ground reports from Ground Zero in Uttarkashi.
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Finesta.
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियाँ आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशी ताई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में? चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
You know, first when S.I.R released and we as audience realized, oh my God, what is happening? You know, when did you realize it? Like, it's like, I didn't expect this, what is happening? Like that wave that hits you.
You know, the first thing that really hit me, I'm telling you, was a month back actually, to be honest, is when Adi sir saw the film. And he saw a very loose cut and he decided the release date. But he was always... like me and Akshay were so into making the film, I think, along with Sumanna and all. Sometimes when you're so into it and you know, you don't realize, you don't see it from, and then he saw it from a third person perspective. I mean, he was always super confident about the film. And he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done. And yeah, we all, you know, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that, you know, you've made a great film. All he had asked for me was to make your best film for me. And I did, and I'm just glad that, so that was the first thing, you know, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment, you know, for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else, but on a very unassembled film at that time, could feel the emotion and be listening. But it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said.
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियाँ आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशी ताई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में? चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
You know, first when S.I.R released and we as audience realized, oh my God, what is happening? You know, when did you realize it? Like, it's like, I didn't expect this, what is happening? Like that wave that hits you.
You know, the first thing that really hit me, I'm telling you, was a month back actually, to be honest, is when Adi sir saw the film. And he saw a very loose cut and he decided the release date. But he was always, like me and Akshay were so into making the film, I think, along with Sumanna and all. Sometimes when you're so into it and you know, you don't realize, you don't see it from, and then he saw it from a third person perspective. I mean, he was always super confident about the film. And he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done. And yeah, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that, you've made a great film. All he had asked for me was to make your best film for me. And I did, and I'm just glad so that was the first thing, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment,
Absolutely.
for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else, but on a very unassembled film at that time, could feel the emotion and be listening. But it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said, this is getting too out of hand. And then in the night we got the number.
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गली आ
Guys, JCB felt down as they were making way for the passage to be cleared and road to be constructed so that the communication goes through. But the crane went down, and one of the BRO official is in that as well. But certainly somehow we managed over here in Dharali. The rescue operation is still underway. There you can see the dog squad over there searching for any possibility of human remains over here. And it has been stated to us that it's a 30 to 40 or perhaps 50 feet high slash because of the cloud bursts that have taken place. And the relief work goes on with the help of the army, BRO, SDRF, NDRF and rest of the agencies. Currently where I am standing are these stones which came along with the water, and that has completely swept away or washed away the entire village. And this is the situation today down in Rishikesh, Dehradun. We have been told that weather was not so good, and therefore more helicopters cannot fly, but evacuation process currently on over here. This is Aishwarya Jain, video journalist Pawan Kumar Tiwari for NDTV.
India slams Pakistan's army chief's nuclear threat, says it reflects irresponsibility and that India won't give in to such nuclear blackmail. MEA says India nuclear threats is rattling Pakistan's trade. Senior Karnataka cabinet minister resigns after diktat from party high command. Rajana's remarks against Congress in the vote fraud allegations came as a serious embarrassment for the party. And actor Rana Daggubati appears before ED in the illegal betting scam controversy. Is quizzed for almost 4 hours. Rania Rao's cop father, has been reinstated now.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसा हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है.
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
फाइनर फिनेस्टा।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशित आई ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में, चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
जय जवान जो मैंने शुरू किया था ये एक्चुअली, मैं दोबारा आया हूँ आप लोग से मिलने के लिए। मुझे बड़ी खुशी है आप देख रहे हैं YouTube पे मेरी फिल्म। वाह क्या बात है, क्या बात है। देखिए जय जवान मेरे साथ 15 अगस्त को सिर्फ NDTV पर। जय जवान, जय जवान, जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program tonight, a seismic ruling from the Supreme Court today has ignited hope and concern across Delhi NCR, the National Capital Region. All stray dogs in the region must be relocated to shelters, all. This decision, both compassionate and contentious, forces us to confront the complex reality of our streets, where love for animals collides with fears of danger. The Supreme Court didn't mince words, slamming local authorities for their abysmal failure to manage the stray dog crisis. Their scathing remarks highlight a grim truth. Over 1.5 lakh dog bites were reported in Delhi last year, with rabies, a near certain death sentence without timely treatment, claiming lives and fueling public fear. The court's frustration is palpable. It points to a lax enforcement system and inadequate infrastructure as culprits behind this escalating issue. For residents haunted by the threat of aggressive strays, this ruling offers a glimmer of relief, a promise of safer streets and fewer sleepless nights. Yet, for animal lovers, this is a bittersweet moment. They see strays not as threats but as vulnerable souls, often abandoned, starving, or abused, deserving of care and dignity. They argue that mass relocation to shelters risks overcrowding, neglect, or worse, if not done right. Now, their plea is heartfelt. These dogs aren't statistics, they're companions who share our cities. And shelters, therefore, must be proper sanctuaries, equipped with proper veterinary care programs, not just holding pens. Now, the court's order is clearly a tightrope walk. Moving lakhs of strays is a logistical mountain. Can our shelters scale up to meet this challenge? Will funding and oversight match the ambition? The Supreme Court has thrown down the gauntlet and made it absolutely clear street dogs are no longer welcome on the streets of the National Capital Region. People must be protected.
It started with a campaign. NDTV reporting every attack, every victim's ordeal, asking questions, seeking a fix to the stray dogs menace in the country. Now the Supreme Court has spoken, calling the stray dog menace a serious public safety concern. The apex court noted the need to round up stray dogs and directed the Municipal Corporation of Delhi to pick up the stray dogs and relocate them to other locality. The Supreme Court said that if any organization intervenes, they will face action. The court made it clear that it will hear government's side on this and that application by dog lovers will not be entertained.
Very thankful to NDTV to start this campaign regarding the stray dogs and see the result is come out. Today, I want to appreciate the Supreme Court order regarding the stray dogs. That is, all the stray dogs were shifted to the dog shelters within 8 weeks by the MCD. And it is a very big and the great news for all of us.
Between January and June this year, 49 rabies cases, 35,198 animal bite incidents reported in Delhi. From finding enough shelter place to ensuring proper care, the challenge ahead is immense. But the court has made it clear, delays will not be tolerated. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi has now formed a special committee to carry out the court's directive, balancing humane treatment with immediate removal from the streets.
NDTV को भी बधाई देना चाहता हूँ, आपने जनता से जुड़ा हुआ मुद्दा उठाया है और ये जो आपका अभियान है इस विषय को सभी लोगों ने संज्ञान लिया था और आज कोर्ट का जो निर्णय है वो निर्णय मेरा ये मानना है कि दिल्ली सरकार जिस दिशा में आगे बढ़ रही थी पिछले कुछ समय से मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में, उसी दिशा में हमारे को और सरल करने का काम सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये आदेश करेगा.
But not everyone is on board.
और फ्राइडे को ही तय हुआ था एक 14 पॉइंट प्रोग्राम चल जाएगा और उसमें 2 साल के अंदर अंदर सबको राहत मिलती. लेकिन अब ये जजमेंट आ गया. अब ये जजमेंट मुझे नहीं मालूम कि लीगल भी है कि नहीं, बस एक गुस्से में देने वाला, आप आओ बैठो रोब जमाओ जजमेंट दे दो और कहो कि कोई नहीं बोलेगा, कोई मुझे सुनना नहीं है.
With the deadline now in place, the stray dog crisis is finally seeing concrete orders from the top. NDTV will keep tracking whether this ruling stays on paper or clear the streets. With Nupur Dogra, Aarti Krishnan, Malvika Murali, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Well, joining us, Ambika Shukla, she's an animal rights activist, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairperson and MD of Nephron Clinic, and Aditya Pratap, an advocate. Let me go across to you, Ambika, first. You know, this is what the Supreme Court said, and I quote, all these animal activists, will they be able to bring back those who have fallen prey to rabies? How would you respond to that?
Firstly, I would like to talk about the judgment itself. It is not based on any kind of knowledge or information. In the absence of a census, you don't even know how many dogs you're talking. So when you want a reasoned order, you need to start with information. Here you can see there has been no effort to even procure the basic information. When you talk about removing dogs to shelters, how many dogs are we talking? How many shelters are needed? How much land is needed? How much money will be needed? Nothing. So this is completely plucked out of thin air without any kind of reasoning. And if you are seriously talking about a specific issue, then you do need domain expertise. For the Supreme Court to say we will not listen to animal welfare people is to say we will not listen to doctors when there is a health issue or any other expert in the matter.
No, but Ambika, perhaps in this case they weren't listening to doctors. Now,
sorry?
Perhaps in this case, Ambika, they were listening to doctors.
No, they were not listening to doctors because the case that the court took a suo motu action was not a single doctor certified rabies. The child died of meningitis. It was misrepresented, misquoted, and the Supreme Court quoted that very case. So even here, they were not listening to doctors. Why don't you listen to facts, not fear? Any policy that emanates out of fear is bound to be a wrong, faulty, and misguided policy.
All right. One second. Let me get in Dr. Sanjeev Bagai. Was the court bound by fear instead of fact, Dr. Bagai?
Good evening. I think the Supreme Court judgment is correct. It's in the correct direction. Let's only base our discussion today very quickly just on facts. The fact is that we have more than 7 crore, which is 70 million stray dogs in some reports, going up to more than 100 million in some other reports in India. We have more than 8 dog bites.
No census at all.
Ma'am, I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking,
I'm just saying, sir, don't quote figures because there is no census.
I'm saying, ma'am, can I have my time to speak?
Is to misrepresent again.
And one second, Ambika, let Dr. Bagai make his point.
The fear-mongering that has produced this kind of mistakes. So let us stick with facts.
No, please. Let him make his point. I'll come back to you.
Stick with facts, sir.
I would request Ambika to just remain silent for a couple of minutes.
Here
are the other points of view. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is that we have more than 8 to 9 dog bites every minute in India. 99% of rabies cases are fatal. This is pointless. Vishnu, this is completely
No,
pointless.
Ambika, I'm going to bring down your sound.
Respect to the other.
One minute, Dr. Bagai.
Yes, what the
Ambika,
Supreme Court
I'm going to
did.
bring down your sound until such time as he
it's what the
finishes.
Supreme Court did as well. We
No,
don't want to hear
Ambika, we don't do
angry
debates
people. We
like
don't
this.
want
Bring
to hear
down
the
a sound. I'll come back to you, Ambika, once he finishes his answer. Go ahead, Dr. Bagai.
Yeah, thank you, Vishnu. 99% of rabies cases turn out to be fatal. More than 36% of the world's rabies population is in India. We lose more than 20,000 innocent human beings every year in India just because of rabies. 20% of this significant figure is in children under the age group of 5. A lot of elderlies fall, they have fractured neck femur, they have other orthopedic issues, primarily because they're running away from dogs which come in a group to attack them. Stray dogs, be it rabid or non-rabid, cannot coexist in a human environment where residential colonies, multi-complexes and societies are. The point I'm trying to make is the full figure is based on rabies. Let's look at the mutilating injuries. Let's look at the huge amount of psychological scarring which happens to children who are severely injured because of lacerating bites. The anti-rabies vaccines are not globally available and not in smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 or in villages. And it's not only the anti-rabies. For severe lacerating wounds and for grade 2, grade 3 wounds and beyond, we need something which is known as immunoglobulin, which is extremely expensive. Not to move at all is being regressive.
Okay.
The court has made a correct decision. Yes, we need manpower, we need capacity building, we need infrastructure, we need people to look after the dogs, yes. But the fact is we are moving in the correct direction. That's my limited point.
Got it. All right, Dr. Bagai. Ambika, let me come to you one more time. Again, a quote from the Supreme Court. All these so-called animal lovers, will they be able to bring back those children who have given their lives? How would you respond?
Let me first refute the statistics so-called put out by Dr. Bagai. One is there are not 20,000 rabies cases in India anymore. That was many years ago. And in fact, the number is down to 54. This is a parliament reply produced by the government of India. Okay, so please get your facts straight, sir. This fear-mongering does not work and it is causing a lot of needless fear and panic among people. These false statistics, false cases, etc. Please let us stick to the facts. And then we can produce a reasoned, sensible solution. All of us want safe streets. And I would like to just give you a comparative figure, Vishnu. We're talking about public safety. Do you know that India has 11%, only 11% of the world's total vehicles. And yet we have the highest number of traffic deaths, 10 lakhs a year. Secondly, India has the highest number of street dogs, and yet we just have 54 rabies cases. Just look at the difference in parity. 10 lakh deaths from traffic, yet we are not impounding cars, we are not jailing drivers, we are not taking any kind of extreme measures when there are 10 lakh deaths. And here, by comparison, there are only 54 cases of rabies in a country of 1.5 billion people. So clearly something
I think those numbers are debatable. Ambika, will you hold on for 1 second?
No, those are correct statistics and those are research statistics.
Sure.
Please let me tell you,
All
we
right.
are not in the habit of giving false facts because we are the victim of the same.
All
so
right,
please
Dr.
let me
Bagai,
tell
no,
these
you've raised a very specific point. 54 rabies cases across the country.
The specific point with regard to bites is, the bite figures, no matter what they are 5 times exaggerated because we have done an RTI report and got an answer from AIMS, and they have specified that bites are counted as per usage of rabies vials, 1 vial to 1 bite, when in actual fact it is 5 vials to 1 bite. So you would firstly divide whatever statistics are coming out by 5. Secondly, there is no differentiation between pet dog bites and stray dog bites or monkey bites or rodent bites. They are all clubbed together as dog bites. What about the prophylactic doses taken by the entire animal welfare world? Those are also mistakenly counted as bites. So your bite figures are vastly exaggerated, and we need to acknowledge that. When you're dealing with the problem, unless you recognize the problem, understand its dimensions, then only can you come up with a solution. If you have wrong facts,
I get that point you're mentioning.
Yes.
It's been overstated is what you're arguing. Dr. Bagai has a point. Go ahead, Dr. Bagai.
I'm giving you the facts. I'm giving you the facts.
Ambika, you made your point. Ambika, you made your point. Let him reply. Yeah.
Okay, so to compare one rabies death, 54 rabies deaths, or 20,000 rabies deaths with road accidents
no 20,000.
can be as bizarre as comparing apples and oranges and trying to make bananas. I don't agree with that, and that's trivializing every death. Point number two is, if Madam Ambika is very fond of dogs and animals, she should house them, adopt them, and take them inside a house, not let them loose on the road. Point number three is, all data, published data, which includes Lancet, Science Direct, and other international magazines, have specifically quoted that there is underreporting of dog bites and underreporting of rabies deaths in India. India healthcare is not digitalized. More often than not, these bites, these episodes, these incidents, these kind of mishaps go underreported, not overreported. Over to you.
Okay. Aditya Pratap, in fact, I'm also joined by Dr. Ashar Jesudas of the Delhi Animal Welfare Board. But Dr. Ashar Jesudas, the Supreme Court has ruled, right? There is no two ways about it. These dogs need to be moved into shelters. Where will they be taken, and how soon can this be implemented? And what are the conditions in these shelters?
Right. So let me clarify, first of all, that there are no shelters where these dogs can be taken. The decision is absolutely bizarre. First of all, it goes against a previous ruling by the Supreme Court, a two-bench decision that categorically, after a lot of hearings, a lot of research, said that the ABC rules 2023 are the only solution. It goes against the central government rules called the ABC rules 2023, which mandate that every dog needs to be sterilized and sent back to the location. What this today's decision proposes is that, let's say about 7 lakh dogs, right? There are 7 lakh dogs in Delhi, like 3% of the human population. Let's assume, that we take about 5,000 dogs to a shelter, right? Which is what the Supreme Court has proposed as a first step. The cost at 3,000 rupees per dog per month comes to 1.5 crore rupees per month for just 5,000 dogs. You do the calculation for 7 lakh dogs. Like, how much money does this government have to spend on dogs? And do they have the space? Do they have the infrastructure? Where is the land going to come from? Where are you going to catch 10,000 dogs from? Do you have enough trained catchers? This is bizarre. I mean, these dogs have been living with us for 10,000 years. They're a part of our culture. The Mahabharata talks about dogs. I mean, Yudhishthir, went up to, knocked the doors of heaven, and a dog was following him. I mean, this is part of our culture. These dogs have been with us for more than 10,000 years. They've evolved with us. They've been loyal guardians of our security for all these years. And all of a sudden, we just have built these huge walls, and suddenly we don't want these dogs, and we don't even do what is humane, what is scientific, what is legal, and we just want them out. And at what cost? Who's going to pay for all of this?
I think I take your point about
1.5 crores a month.
Ashar, I think you make an important point about how the seemingly impossibility of implementing this. Aditya Pratap, another quote from the court. NCT Delhi, the MCD, that's the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, and the NDMC, which is the New Delhi Municipal Corporation, shall at the earliest start picking up stray dogs from all localities, from more vulnerable localities particularly, and cities. How to do it is for the authorities to look into, and if they have to create a force, do it at the earliest. Is this a reasonable expectation by the court, Aditya?
Absolutely. The Supreme Court order is indeed supreme. It's a very well thought out order. And I'm very happy that after so many years, Supreme Court has finally called a spade a spade. Stray dogs, unfortunately, as I said, stray dogs are not in the natural ecosystem. The urban city is not a place for stray dogs, which is why the numbers have proliferated. Stray dogs have no natural predators. In fact, before I continue, I would like to suggest to the Supreme Court that the Honorable Supreme Court should consider that, because clearly relocating so many dogs to animal shelters will be a mammoth task. Rather, consider locating a good number of strays and releasing them in the core areas of national parks where they can be preyed upon by leopards and other top predators. Because a stray dog has to be returned to the food chain. When an animal comes out of the food chain, its numbers multiply, and that causes problems for human beings. And the problem gets compounded when you have a section of society which says, no, stray dogs should not be treated as animals, they should be treated like people. And an animal can never receive the same status in law as a human being. Yes,
Why not?
an animal should be treated with mercy, an animal should be treated ethically, no cruelty to an animal, but an animal can never be, promoted to such an extent that it is given a blank check to attack people and children. Secondly, the Honorable Supreme Court in this case very clearly said we will not be allowing any interveners, which is very good because courts in suo moto decisions, suo moto cases, they do not allow third-party interveners. They appoint an amicus curiae who is a friend of the court, who will give reasonable advice, and those who want to give the suggestions, I would recommend giving them to the learned amicus curiae so that he can put them on record before the court. But the Supreme Court has very clearly said that all stray dogs should be relocated to animal welfare shelters. Now, of course, such a drive will require mobilization of manpower, which the statutory and municipal authorities are well capable of undertaking. Many a time for specialized tasks and drives, the municipal corporations are known to mobilize manpower to achieve,
Okay.
For instance, you may recall.
All right, so
when
you
the
believe
corona
that they just
pandemic
have to
came,
get the job done. One
marshals
sec, I'm running
when
short
the
on
corona
time.
pandemic came,
Let me go back
marshals
to
were
Dr.
deployed to
Asher
levy
Jesudas.
fines.
Dr. Asher, again, another quote from the Supreme Court. I'm sticking to what the court has said. If any individual or organization comes in the way of picking stray dogs or rounding them up, we will proceed to take strict action against any such resistance. How would you react to this particular? It's essentially the order is there, right? It's a Supreme Court order. It doesn't get higher than this. This will now be done. We can keep talking about how it can be done, when it can be done, if it can be done. But the fact of the matter is, dog lovers, animal lovers, and others, you don't have a say in this anymore. Is that something that you have no choice but to accept?
First of all, I would like to clarify that, clubbing everyone as animal lovers, I think is undermining what we stand for. I think we're compassionate citizens of this country and we have compassion for all life forms and not just dogs. Secondly, we are exploring ways to challenge this order and we will, proceed in the most practical way possible. In the meantime, my response to your specific question is that the Supreme Court has given the government of Delhi 8 weeks to implement this order. So I'm hoping that the government, ensures that they have all the facilities in place, all the manpower, training in place to not do a haphazard job of this order. So we're not expecting that they would start tomorrow, for example, because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the shelter spaces, they don't have the manpower. So we still have hope that better sense will prevail before any action takes place, and we remain hopeful, and that's where I stand right now.
Dr. Bagai, last word to you. You have exactly 1 minute. Go ahead, sir.
I need 30 seconds only. I would request all the compassionate citizens of India who love dogs, who love stray animals, please come and visit and work in a rabies ward just for a couple of days. You will understand the pain, the trauma, the psychological effects, the absolute horror of treating rabies patients. That's my limited take. Thank you.
No, but finish that point, Dr. Bagai. What happens to rabies patients?
Rabies patients have a 99% fatality, irrespective of all medical treatment, immunoglobulins, ventilation. If they survive, they have prolonged neurological deficit, which is debilitating and devastating. It becomes like a chronic vegetative state. It's not fair to subject innocent citizens to stray dog bites and put them at risk of any infection vis-a-vis rabies.
All right.
May I make a point, Vishnu, before you finish?
Amika, I'm out of time on this. We
Just
will revisit.
1 second. Rabies is 100% preventable. So we're maybe 100% fatal, but it is also 100% preventable. And that is what we are struggling for and spread through the ABC vaccination program. If you have vaccinated dogs, they do not spread rabies. They cannot. Okay. So what we need to, just like we dealt with COVID with 150 crore people being vaccinated,
all right.
we can easily do that with dogs.
I would also like to add a quick.
No. I'm sorry, I'm out of time. It's no prejudice to any of you, but I'm.
Just 20 seconds.
The program is over.
Seconds.
I don't have 20 seconds. I'll come back to you, and I think you made some excellent points. Asher, we'll come back to you. We are out of time. We'll leave it over there. A Supreme Court order, very, very strong indeed. Can it be implemented? Are there solutions? We're going to have to wait and see. Thank you very much for being with us. Good night.
first when S.I.R released and we as audience realized, oh my God, what is happening? When did you realize it? It's like, I didn't expect this, what is happening? Like that wave that hits you.
The first thing that really hit me, I'm telling you, was a month back actually, to be honest, is when Adisa saw the film. And he saw a very loose cut and he decided the release date. But he was always, like me and Akshay were so into making the film, I think, along with Sumanna and all. Sometimes when you're so into it and you don't realize, you don't see it from, and then he saw it from a third person perspective. I mean, he was always super confident about the film. And he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done. And yeah, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that, you've made a great film. All he had asked for me was to make your best film for me. And I did. And I'm just glad so that was the first thing, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment,
Absolutely.
for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else, but on a very unassembled film at that time, could feel the emotion and be listening. But it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said, this is getting too out of hand. And then in the night we got the number.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold ICICI CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You need everything in place, the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
That's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special skill. I don't know any scale or anything else. It's just that I enjoy that process a lot. Give me an evening to just go for a film party or something, I'll skip it. But you give me like a struggling musician to go who has a great tune, some new guys, chill all night with them. I can do that. I can just sit there, make music and stuff like that. We just did that recently. Fahim came down. He just surprised us, and we met in my Bandra office. And Ahan was there, Aneet was there, and he made me hear his other songs and stuff like that. But it was it's so much fun. Because I just think making music, film, you still get to see something. Yeah. I think music is so amazing. You
don't need to see anything.
It's in the air, and suddenly it just comes together, and it's just, you can just feel it. And something you hear makes you feel something. It's just magical. Yeah.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV. Terry, and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability. NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru, only on NDTV 24/7.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Now the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
एक जरा इंतजार सुन सदाएं दे रही है मंजिल प्यार की.
India slams Pakistan's army chief's nuclear threat, says it reflects irresponsibility and that India won't give in to such nuclear blackmail. MEA says India nuclear threats is rattling Pakistan's trade. Senior Karnataka cabinet minister resigns after diktat from party high command. Rajana's remarks against Congress in the vote fraud allegations came as a serious embarrassment for the party. And actor Rana Daggubati appears before ED in the illegal betting scam controversy, is quizzed for almost 4 hours. Rania Rao's father, cop father, has been reinstated now.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Bilawal Bhutto's warning after Munir's nuclear threat to India. Bilawal Bhutto says that Pakistan will go to a war if India builds a dam on the Indus River. From street to the Sansad, the opposition MPs marched to the Election Commission of Office, India. They were detained. The BJP defends the Election Commission. Senior Karnataka cabinet minister resigns after diktat from party high command. Rajana's remarks against the Congress in the vote fraud allegations came as a serious embarrassment for the party. Rajana alleges big conspiracy against him. Will take up the matter with high command. Comedian Kapil Sharma gets security cover. The security cover comes after 2 fighting incidents outside the Caps Cafe in Canada. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky dials up Prime Minister Modi amid the Trump tariff threats. This call was ahead of Trump and Putin meeting. Prime Minister wrote on his social media saying that he's committed to early resolution of the conflict. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah. The US President Donald Trump, he says that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could attend his upcoming summit with the Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Alaska, which is going to happen on the 15th of August. But he also expressed doubt that Zelensky's presence would make much difference in securing a peace deal. Donald Trump, he stressed that the meeting with Putin is aimed at understanding the possible parameters of a peace deal before he consults with Zelensky and the other European leaders. He added that if Putin presents what he views as a fair deal, he will bring it to the European